these celestial transits, these rotational planets. Around these parts we got high standards, seeking the truth, wisdom at once. We're coming from the stars above. This is Moonday Tarot, the one and only Kelly Wakana. I hope you're ready for some giggles, and of course, we hope you got some wiggles. Strap in and get ready for some cosmic wisdom of ancestral understandings. Moonday Tarot. Bitch, it's Moonday.
Bitch, it's Moonday. Happy Monday, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. My name's Kaylee. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, I know, that is the best. Roman's the best. Yeah, welcome to my channel. My name's Kaylee. This is Moonday Tarot. So starting at a different start time. Usually I've been doing these in the evenings on Monday, but decided to start doing them at noon instead. So what's up? I'm glad that some of you can join me today. That's exciting. So I realize for the majority of the people that tune in from North America, this is in the middle of your workday, but hopefully some of the people from Europe and Australia and whatnot can tune in live, because it's a totally different time. But anyway, what's going on? This is my show where I talk about some of the astrology for the week, and then I pull cards and talk about one specific transit for each of the signs. So I will be going from Pisces to Aries. I like to go backwards, switch it up a little bit on everybody, kind of keep you on your toes. And there will be time at the end. If you would like a personal card reading, feel free to do that. It's lots of fun. Instructions are down below in the description box and just along the ticker there. Let's see. Eclipse will be next week. Okay, first eclipse of the year is next week. So if you would like a transit reading specifically focusing on how that eclipse is going to affect your chart, or if you've never had your chart done before, I have a special code, special offering for the month of April. If you book through my website, kayleebricana.com, you can use the code Eclipse20 on any purchase, whether you want to do a tarot reading or an astrology reading. Drop that code in there as you're checking out for 20% off of a reading. What else do I got going on right now? I think that's it at the moment. So yeah, I love that you can set your own hours, Stacy. That's really badass. And also congratulations on quitting your job last week. So good for you. Alrighty. So let's talk about this week. Tomorrow is the official day for the Jupiter Cazimi. Pretty stoked about that. And actually, let me just pull up my slideshow here. So a few things happening this week, pretty much all tomorrow. So first of all, we have the Jupiter Cazimi. So that's exciting. We touched a little bit on that last week. So I'll talk a little bit more about that and pull up the actual chart for it. And then on the same day, Venus will ingress into tropical Gemini. Venus will immediately trine Pluto, as Pluto is at 0 degrees of Aquarius right now. And then right after trining Pluto, Venus will square Saturn. So we'll talk about that definitely. The other really kind of big thing is just if you're watching the moon, this morning actually, it was so cool. It was as I was driving, I could see the moon right on the horizon. It was pretty badass. But anyway, as we're going through this week, remember that on Wednesday we've got the third quarter moon phase, which is like the square aspect between the sun and the moon, where they are 90 degrees in the sky. When we've got that, you can consider it basically to be like the the final week warning before the first eclipse of the year. So that'll be fun. We'll definitely talk about the eclipse next week. So for now, I mostly just want to focus on all of these interesting Venus transits and the Jupiter Cazimi itself. So let's get into it. I actually just gotta chill with you for a second because I didn't have my screen share up. Whoops. Anyway, how you guys doing? Um, Let me know in the comments below what you think about the start time. And yeah, hello Jenny, hello Stacy, hello Kelly, hello Ariel. All my girls are here. That's cool. Nice. All right, so this is the chart of the moment right now. As always, if you're new here, welcome. I am a tropical Western astrologer. So the signs and the placements that I'm talking about are from the tropical perspective. As I'm going through horoscopes and whatnot, as I'm talking from the perspective of a sign, I'm talking from your rising sign. So ideally, as you're listening, if you know your birth time, listen primarily for your rising sign, whatever the sign was on the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth. If you don't know your birth time, you can go by your sun sign or your moon sign if you know that you were born at night. So we're going to talk a little bit about this Cazimi that's going on tomorrow. We're going to talk about the Venus stuff, and then we're going to talk about what the Cazimi will do for each of the signs. We've been talking about your Aries house a lot, so if if you're a return viewer, you should be familiar with us talking about this house. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. um, this is you can basically consider this Jupiter Cazimi, which actually let's just move it to tomorrow. You can consider this to be like a reset, a renewal, a a refreshment, essentially, of this house, this topic, and these characters in your life, right? The Jupiter and the Sun characters, the solar character. And of course, how that plays out in on an individual level is completely unique to you and your chart. So we'll go into that um, as we progress forward here. But let's just apparently my internet is trash, so let's just take a second to just hang out for a minute while this decides to load or not. It's thinking about it. So hopefully my sound is okay. Um, One of the uh, benefits for me for streaming now instead of at night is my internet's supposed to be better. As we can see, that's not always the case. But anyway, so tomorrow we have the Jupiter Cassini. Now, why is this significant? So ancient astrologers considered it to be very significant when a planet disappeared from the sky, when it was no longer visible, and then when it was visible again, it was like a that planet was going through a rebirth. So Saturn is visible right now in the morning sky. That's awesome. It's always a good thing to be able to see where the malefics, the so-called quote unquote malefics, are. Uh, so that's a good thing. Like on a symbolic level, it was considered to be like that planet was doing things and we couldn't see what they were doing. So when you have something that's considered to be a more difficult archetype to deal with, a more difficult concept and energy to deal with, is considered to be more positive to be able to see it, right? Rather than it acting hidden behind the scenes in the shadows. So anyway, Saturn being visible in the morning, super positive. So anyway, Jupiter has been invisible for quite some time as the sun has been moving through Aries here. And on the Cazimi day, Cazimi basically just meaning the kiss, when Jupiter is within the forge of the sun, right in the center, the heart of the sun. It's kind of like that archetype, which would be Jupiter in this case. So spirituality, um, leadership, especially in the sign of Aries, leadership, uh, our sense of courage and generosity and joy. These things get a huge boost from the solar energy, and it's a an auspicious day. Now, of course, this happens once a year when the sun meets up with Jupiter. And because the sun moves faster, that's the order that we speak those planets in: sun conjunct Jupiter. Um, so that happens once a year in different signs, but it hasn't happened in Aries yet till now, obviously. So anyway, super fantastic. This, you could consider this to be like a restart or a jump start in this area of life. So there's been something that we have been working with for quite a while, for quite a few months, some area of our life where we are setting out on our own and doing something for the first time, or we're pioneering in an area, or we are, you know, maybe we don't have a ton of confidence in it. Maybe we don't have all of the details worked out. Maybe we don't have quite everything in place that we would ideally want to have in order to do that thing, but we have to just do that thing anyway, uh, and jump into it, because it's going to pay off. The rewards will be definitely worth it. Um, so that's the essence of this particular transit, right? Whatever area of life that Aries house rules for you, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. And now is not the time to falter. Now is the time to push through and do it anyway. So that is the thing. Yeah, new moon, solar eclipse. Yes, ma'am. It's gonna be interesting. So yeah, that's next week. We don't need to talk about that yet. But anyway, you can also consider this like, considering we're moving into a solar eclipse, the sun is getting charged up with Jupiterian energy. So that can be a really good thing. Um, or, it could also blow up and exaggerate many different other aspects. So anyway, that'll be fun. Yeah, so that's that. On the same day, as you can see, Venus has now ingressed into tropical Gemini. And it literally, as soon as she crosses that cusp into tropical Gemini, she is trining Pluto. So that's an interesting one, right? With Venus and Gemini, I have this natally. I have Venus and Gemini natally. It's really all about fun. Like Venus and Gemini wants to play. They want to taste all of the different flavors, okay, and not be necessarily committed to any one particular flavor. Because what if the mood shifts and you want a different one, right? Or what if a different flavor or a different color suits the activities better, right? Why stick to just one? That's Venus and Gemini. Now there's something there's an interesting thing that modern astrologers say about Venus and Gemini, and that is like the position of a cheater, someone that can't stay faithful. I don't think that this is true at all. I think that this has a lot more to do with um, more how you express your femininity, more about the colors, or like I said, the example that I used with it being flavors. You can be a totally loyal, totally faithful person and have a Venus and Gemini, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to jump around relationship to relationship, but you may notice a pattern with the different relationships that you do have where they are different flavors. So anyway, just a quick little thing there. Yeah, me too, Michelle. I'm enjoying it as well. So what's up? Hey, Michelle. Bothism, definitely. Bothism. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So anyway, Venus and Gemini is a fun energy. Now, with Venus immediately trining Pluto, this is going to color this whole transit for Venus, right? But also, it's important to pay attention to what goes down this week, relating to the Gemini house of your chart, and specifically the archetype of Venus, because she's trining Pluto, and Pluto had just moved into Aquarius. So all of these early aspects that we're seeing to Pluto in the beginning of Aquarius is going to tell us a lot more about what this transit is actually going to bring to us for the next 20 years. So it's significant. Pay attention. Um, this week is a big one, right? Jupiter, Cazimi, Venus, trine Pluto. That's two kind of significant transits right away. Now, a trine is a harmonious aspect, meaning that both of the signs involved, right? They're both air signs. We got Gemini and we got Aquarius. So they're both talking about communication and the exchange of information between people. Both of them are actually also talking about polarity, right? Polarity, duality, differences, differences and similarities, right? There's always common ground, but there's always lots of uh, huge divides and differences too. So I say that as there's 11 people in the chat right now, so that's pretty badass. Um, just that 1-1 symbolism. It's very Gemini to me. Anyway, considering that we had Mars here for 8 freaking months, there have been a lot of conversations, a lot of situations coming up on a global stage, and I'm sure in your personal life as well, where a slight difference of opinion can mean a big argument, right? A slight difference of stance. Sometimes people like dig their heels in, and no matter what you say to them, they're gonna stay with that opinion no matter what. Um, and having conviction can be very positive, but um, at the same time, there's been like this kind of like this fear and anxiety. At least I've noticed it personally when trying to speak or debate or bring up different topics or opinions where people are likely to have a difference of opinion. Now, with Venus moving into Gemini, this is going to help soften this quite a bit. And even though there's like this crazy aspect to Pluto, it is a harmonious aspect. So you can look at it like this: as you're expressing opinions, as you're sharing information and sharing ideas and actually talking about things, it's a very Gemini archetype. There's like this softness that kind of comes in, and this like ease, where even if there's a difference of opinion, hopefully you're able to navigate that with a little bit more grace, right? That's a Venus word for you. A little bit more grace, a little bit more harmony. You don't necessarily have to agree with everybody that has a different opinion. Obviously, that would be ridiculous. But it's like there is this energy of what may have caused a blow up before, or what may have caused a more severe reaction. You're now able to navigate that a little bit smoother, especially if you start with something like, I hear where you're coming from, right? So Venus is notorious actually for being, especially in Vedic astrology, a counselor. And being able to access things like compassion and social graces and charm is a very, very positive Venus and Gemini aspect. So even if you're talking with somebody that you think is a satanic motherfucker, even just understanding or being able to express understanding of where they're coming from can do a world of a difference. All right. Now, the trying with Pluto, essentially, some of these conversations and some of these new flavors and things that we want to take on and try are going to be transformational in nature, or they're going to contribute to the transformation that we're going through in this area of our life, the Aquarius house. So anyway, hopefully that wasn't too much detail, but that's the Gemini transit there. What's up, Braden? Hey. Yeah. What's up, Donut? Oh, surgery today. That'll be interesting. That's insane. That's a great example of a topic that's a really hot one right now, actually. Very spicy topic when we're dealing with people permanently changing their bodies, and whether or not that's even a good thing to do, or whether or not we should be allowing minors to do that stuff. Very hot topic. So that's definitely one that, as I was talking about the Venus and Gemini stuff, I was thinking about that. So yeah. But keep them at arm's length for sure. What's up, SB? Good to see you, Sean. I know. I gotta talk to Donut again. Okay, so immediately after that trine to Pluto, Venus makes a square to Saturn. So I'll just move this forward. Bow, bow, bow. It's not on Wednesday, but we're getting close. It's not on Thursday, but we're getting close. Friday. Friday, Venus makes the square to Saturn. So this is an interesting one. So we got Venus and Gemini, which is try all the things, do all the things, learn some new stuff, have fun with it, and play. Um, and then we got this whole Saturn and Pisces thing. Now, Saturn and Pisces has been interesting to watch. This is another position where you're going to see people get really dogmatic about certain beliefs. And I'm talking on all sides, okay? I don't just mean the dogmatic Christians, and I don't just mean the dogmatic truthers or the political debate. I mean literally anything that involves you having to have a belief in something. You're going to see more and more uh, strict boundaries come up actually for people, which is interesting. Pisces is about like compassion and spirituality and empathy. Um, but with Saturn in here, there's a lot of stuff going on with this. Saturn is often about discipline and mastery and boundaries. That's the positive aspects of this, the foundation that we're building. And ideally, like in an ideal situation, this is learning spiritual discipline. Um, even if you're lacking in belief, or even if you're lacking in evidence to support your belief, do you still believe? If you're missing tools, can you still practice without those tools? If you're missing a connection, like if you're having a hard time feeling, right? Pisces is a water sign. It's often about feeling. If you have a hard time feeling that connection, do you still believe anyway? Um, and then Saturn can be super rigid, but uh, again, on the ideal side of things, hopefully we're learning how to soften some of that rigidity. And then, of course, there's always when we're talking about dual-bodied signs, Gemini and Pisces are both considered dual-bodied. This is literally the twins. This is two fishes. It's literally the image of two. There's always the other side of it too, right? So with Saturn and Pisces is like getting really rigid and dogmatic about our beliefs. So hopefully we don't do that. Or allowing fear and anxiety, which is some important keywords for Saturn as well, to drive or harden beliefs, right? So anyway, some interesting stuff with that going on that I've noticed personally. Um, like if you want to talk about stubborn, Saturn stubborn. Okay, so anyway, with Venus and Gemini, which is like try all the new things, get all the new information, and have fun with it. The square aspect is going to be like, okay, we have the information. We are talking about it. We're feeling into it. We're sharing our ideas. And there's this sense on Friday of, okay, now how can we practically apply that? And how does that help us be practical about our beliefs? How does this either new information or just this new way of viewing something, how does that either counter, challenge, or help us modify our beliefs in some way? But at the same time, this is actually in the dominant position. So there's this concept. I'm just going to move the clock back a few hours to demonstrate it. There's this concept in ancient astrology of certain aspects or certain planets in one sign being in the dominant position. And what makes that particular planet the dominant position is which one reaches the culmination first. So clock moves this way. All right, clock moves this way, sky moves this way. So Saturn will actually reach culmination first. So if I move forward a few hours, we see Saturn at the top, and Venus is just rising. So Saturn is actually in the dominant position here. So Pisces dominates Gemini. So belief, feelings actually in the end dominate information and logic. Isn't that interesting? How often do you make a purchase based on logic? 99% of the time, you make a purchase and a sale based on emotion, not on logic. So that's a just an interesting thing to put out there. But also our beliefs, our underlying beliefs often are the things that inspire certain thoughts. We have different things that we think and different narratives that run in our head, but underneath them is actually a driving belief. For example, this is a great one for Saturn and Pisces. I'm not worthy. How often do we think that? We usually don't think that. We usually think something along the lines of, oh, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that, because this, and this. Well, we come up with like a whole laundry list of excuses, eh? But underneath that is the core belief of I'm unworthy. So hopefully what I'm seeing with this is you're going to find some things that might challenge that a little bit, but at the end of the day, the work really has to be done on the underlying belief. So there's a great Saturn and Pisces homework task for you. What kind of beliefs do you have that end up causing you to self-sabotage? And how does that actually become expressed, or how does that actually express itself rather, through your thoughts and the things that you actually do? Right. So take a little bit to think about that, right? Like, where do you self-sabotage? What is the thing that you're thinking when you're doing that, right? And then what is actually the belief underneath it? Why do you think that way? That's a great question to ask. Why? Why do you think that way? And keep going into that until you uncover the truth. Um, so good times. Yeah, what, dude? 100%, 100%. A really positive thing about square aspects is that they can encourage you to put in a little bit more effort, especially with Saturn involved. So you're encouraged to put in a little bit more effort, and balance out, like with the theme of Venus and Saturn. Saturn's about structure, right? About integrity. Venus is about beauty. So when it comes to like building a fence, boundaries, literally hilarious. So when it comes to something like building a fence, you want to be able to balance out these two things. You want it to be aesthetically pleasing, because that's just as important as the structure of it. And often a solid structure is aesthetically pleasing, um, but it needs to actually do its job of keeping the critters out, right? So I love that. It's a great example, Michelle. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Sean. I love that you can tune in while you're doing art. That's beautiful. Um, oh, that's another one. Like, how often are you doing something artistically? And like, it doesn't always have to be something that is necessarily structural in nature, but when you are doing something that's structural in nature, let's say you're building a statue, or you're since Sean is here, making, yeah, actually statue's perfect. I'm gonna stick with that. Let's say you're making a statue. Um, if you don't want it to fall over and hurt somebody, it has to be structurally sound. So that's just a really quick like Venus Saturn square. So anyway, there's something that like you really want to have fun, but there's something really practical and something really grounded about, um, maybe there's some like responsibility that you need to take care of before you can continue to go and like do your thing and have fun with it. Um, yeah, that's a great summary. Yeah, boundaries are so that's a big one. Whoa, what's up, Carrie? Good to see you, girl. Oh, that is interesting. Stacy says it's interesting when someone talks about themselves in the third person, especially when discussing others' approval. Yeah. Okay. So those are the main transits that we'll be experiencing this week. Obviously, there is the third quarter square of the moon happening da, 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 on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. It's like Wednesday night into Thursday. Moon will be going through Capricorn, and we'll be experiencing that third quarter square. So this is like the last adjustment period before the eclipse next week. Yeehaw! And again, you guys, with eclipses, this is not something to be nervous or anxious or afraid of. We experience 4 eclipses minimum a year, right? It's not something to lose sleep over, right? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, also next week Mercury turns retrograde, so we'll definitely be talking about that as well. But that is next week. So let's pull this down. What's up, crypto? Dirty hands, happy soul. Dirty hands, clean money. I've been seeing a lot of hoodies with that. Hoodies and shirts with that. Dirty hands, clean money. Yeah, anyway. Okay. So that's this week's transits. Next week, solar eclipse. So new moon. And it's kind of neat. I'll definitely show you the chart and like how it rolls over. But we have the new moon at 29 degrees and like 50 something arc minutes of Aries. So solar eclipse is technically in Aries, and then moon rolls over into Taurus, and then like a couple of hours later, the sun rolls over into Taurus, while the nodes are still in Taurus. So it's kind of like it's definitely still an Aries eclipse, but it has this flavor of Taurus to it. So it's interesting. I'm cold. Alrighty, so let's get started. Pisces. 29 degrees. Yes, ma'am. 29 degrees and 50 odd arc minutes. It's legit. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to go through the signs and talk about specifically this Jupiter Cazimi. Now, one thing I will say for sure before I really start here, and I didn't mention before, apologies, but not every Jupiter transit is actually super positive for us. It especially if you're coming at it from like just like the ego level. I have personally seen Jupiter transits involved with death. I've seen Jupiter transits involved with mental health stuff. I've seen Jupiter transits involved in loss. And I'll give this as an example here. So the the Jupiter, Pluto, Mars, Saturn pile up in Capricorn, that happened in 2019 to early 2020, right? And then what happened 2020? We had a whole bunch of shit to deal with. So Jupiter will expand things, okay? Good or bad, it doesn't matter. Jupiter will expand it. And as far as like Jupiter being involved in death charts, I think that that's actually kind of beautiful in a way, because it's as an astrologer a subtle reminder that death isn't actually necessarily an ending. It is on the physical plane for sure, but your soul lives on, your spirit lives on. So anyway, just I have to say it because it's it's true. Yeah, literally, it just barely squeaked in that new moon. It's pretty wild. Okay. So Pisces. Pisces. What is up? What is up? Oh, I don't want that. There we go. Okay. So for you guys, let me move back one more. This Aries house is your second house. All right. So this Jupiter Cazimi in Aries is happening in the house of finances, really, values, valuables. That's the second house. Some schools of astrology consider this to be a house of family as well. So just another theme to keep in mind. But specifically for you, this is like I actually heard who was talking about it like that. I heard Spencer Mashad, another tropical astrologer, talking about this Cazimi as like an oasis point. And I really liked that. I really liked that description. Um, for some people, this can be like an ongoing theme, right? It can spark something or be a continuation of something that's been ongoing for a while. Or for others, it can just be like a temporary oasis point. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that. And I could definitely see that. But anyway, so for you Pisces, this being a second house transit, this is and Jupiter also being associated with wealth, big wealth. Um, you could consider this to be like a totally new phase beginning for you with your finances, especially since Jupiter actually rules you. Okay, so if you have a Pisces rising chart, so according to the birth time, you have Pisces rising on the eastern horizon. That makes you Pisces rising. That makes Jupiter your ruling planet. This is literally you going through every birth with how you make money, what you do to support your body. The second house has a lot to do with the food that we ingest as well, the things that we need on a physical level to support our body. That's how the second house works. This is your body. This is what you do to support your body. That's why it rules finances and your values and valuables. How much do you value yourself, Pisces? Also, how you doing with that that Saturn ingress? How are you feeling? Do you feel heavier right now? And actually, I wouldn't be surprised also if some Pisces rising have been feeling a little bit um, not necessarily tired, but like they need to do stuff behind the scenes, or there's just more things happening behind the scenes than out in public. So anyway, Jupiter going through this Cazimi phase, this like rebirth. It's kind of like a birthday. You can consider it like a birthday for Jupiter. Um, it's kind of like a bonus birthday for you. But specifically, you're going to be working on and rebooting some area of specifically finances, or specifically changing what you eat, or finding some kind of like peace or oasis or restorative thing to do for yourself. That's the Jupiter Cazimi. So especially if you want to work with this on a more intentional level, Tuesday. So today, Tuesday, Wednesday, but specifically Tuesday, especially, try to do something nice for yourself, right? Cook yourself a really nice meal that is actually good for you, actually healthy. And actually, what's kind of cool, I guess I haven't mentioned this yet, but this is happening in the third decan of Aries. So the third decan, for those of you that are familiar with the tarot, this is the Four of Wands. So Four of Wands, this particular decan is ruled by Venus. This is like the energy of a celebration. So some kind of beautiful, harmonious, artistic thing can come from this as well. So just keep all of these themes in mind. Okay. I'm going to pull some cards. But yeah, Pisces, I'm really interested to hear how you guys have been doing. Have you been feeling that Saturn transit at all? Do you even notice it? Um, and like, how does that land? While Jupiter is invisible, do you feel like you need to be doing things more behind the scenes or not? Like, when I learn something new about astrology, I like to test it. I like to test it out. So often while I'm in a session or when I'm doing things like this, I like to ask questions. It's like, okay, this is what the books say. This is what my teacher said, but how does that actually land for you? Do you feel like that resonates at all? So it's really important to me, and I really, really appreciate it when you guys give me feedback. So if you're watching this later after the fact, if you leave a comment, that would be super appreciated as well because that helps the algorithm pick my videos up. And of course, if you're watching live, I always love the stories. So feel free to drop them down below. So anyway, Pisces, what do we got for you specifically for this Jupiter Cazimi? What is it bringing in for you? Let's see. Wow. It's all about finances for you, Pisces. You know what? Fair enough, crypto. I think that you said you didn't know what time you were born as well. So that's okay. That is okay. All right. So anyway, Pisces, we got the Two of Pentacles, the Hermit card, and the Seven of Pentacles. Literally all Earth. So makes sense. We're talking about the second house. So with the Two Pentacles, this is harmonious changes. This is about having two or more options and needing to pick one or trying to balance both, needing to make some kind of change in order to have some forward progress. This is actually a Capricorn card. It's actually Jupiter in Capricorn, speaking of Jupiter. But in particular, you can see things like, you know, it's like neither option is bad, neither option is good. It's neither good nor bad. It's just about needing to see like, okay, if I go with this one, this is the outcome, and if I go with this one, this is the outcome. Need to weigh it out a little bit. And then with the Hermit card, I like that the Hermit card's coming up. It's interesting that I was mentioning like, you might be feeling Pisces rising anyway, you might be feeling like you've been acting a little bit from behind the scenes. And then Saturn in your sign now is bringing this, is encouraging you to cultivate your inner wisdom, your inner light, right? But anyway, another Earth-based card. It represents Virgo in the major arcana, so that's badass. Okay, I'll come back to that in a second. Chaos Knot. Anyway, Hermit coming out could suggest actually that if you haven't been spending time behind the scenes or in quiet or pulled back from the public eye, it might be positive or helpful for you rather to do a little bit of that this week. So actually, tomorrow when the when that Cazimi takes place, take some time to meditate on it, especially if you have been like contemplating what to do about finances. Maybe you're looking for a new job, or maybe you're looking for something to supplement your income a little bit, or you're just trying to figure out where and how you want to invest if you're into investments. Take a little bit of time to like sit back and think about it before you take any actions. The third card that came out is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles, to me, that's actually a Saturn card. Saturn and Virgo, or Saturn and Taurus. Apologies, Saturn and Taurus is the third deck in a Taurus. That to me is about thinking about the long-term game. So we've got short-term wins, high risk, high reward, that kind of stuff. But we also have, okay, where am I going to go in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, etc., and really thinking about what do I need to do now? What kind of seeds do I need to plant now in order to plan for that? So, thank you for that feedback, Sean. I'm just going to finish my thought and then I'll read these comments. So, with the Seven of Pentacles, this can, and of course, I like that you're you're bringing up health, Sean, because with the earth element, this is not just finances. That's just the easiest surface interpretation for the disc in general, but um our bodily health is absolutely applicable. So, especially if you feel like you have so much that you need to get done, how can you possibly balance these things, getting things done and taking care of yourself? That could be what we're balancing here. The Hermit card is saying you have to take care of your body, you have to take care of yourself. It's okay to sit back a little bit if you need to sit back a little bit. And while you're sitting back, you can make some plans, right? So that once you're ready to get going again, once that Jupiter energy is rebirthed and we see Jupiter in the sky again, literally, uh, then you can like hit the ground running. So definitely don't be beating yourself up, Pisces, if that's how you've been feeling. Also, remember, like, don't forget Saturn is in your sign right now. Um, there is definitely going to be a little bit of a weight with that. Um, and it's really just encouraging you to have more discipline for how you take care of yourself. Okay. So that's Pisces. Okay, so a couple comments. Um That's super fun, Chaos Knight or Chaos Knot. I love that. He or she says, "Last week you said I would be lucky because of a moon in Jupiter." I'm assuming you mean moon with Jupiter. Um, and I won 2 jackpots at the arcade with my son and saw a prize up there that said Jupiter. That's kinda badass, actually. That's really cool. Yeah, that's really fun. I like that. So Crypto says I have been a little bit more to myself lately, and that makes sense. So, don't beat yourself up for that. And then Sean says, "My ladies are Pisces rising, and all of this is applicable so much that it might have her re-listen. She's had multiple health challenges that have kept her at rest and missing work." Yeah. Yeah. So, some things to look forward to. This is a this too shall pass kind of energy, right? It's not going to stay this way forever. Um and also just speaking from personal experience, specifically with Saturn in the rising sign, that gets easier to navigate and deal with as well. Not necessarily it's not that the Saturn energy eases up, it's just that you learn to work with that and take more and more responsibility for taking care of yourself and specifically with taking care of your body because first house is the body, right? What's up, Runes? Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Ship that bullshit off, Stacey. Oh, Runes, you just picked up the Thoth Tarot? Badass. I don't actually have that deck. The artwork is definitely something. The artwork is really interesting. Um, I'm drawing a blank on the artist. I feel like I should know that name. Um, Lady Frida Harris was the Rider Waite artist, but what the heck was the name for the Thoth one? I forget. Yeah, Crypto, I love that. I love that. Oh, it was Lady Frida Harris for the Thoth one. Oh shit, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Thank you. You guys are the best. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So if, if that was the Thoth artist, who did the Rider Waite one? Something Coleman Smith. Something Coleman Smith. Anyway, yeah, I guess I did know it. Damn. Yep. Okay, so anyway, Aquarius. Let's talk about your chart. Aqua. Just give me a sec. Move this move the sky clock to Aqua rising. So Aquarius. Aries occupies your third house. Once it loads, anyway. So the third house, this is the house of siblings. This is the house of your local neighborhood. The tools that you cultivate and use, and all it can also talk quite a bit about like your communication style. So let's focus on tools, all right? Because that's probably the easiest interpretation for this house. And feel free to Pamela. I always forget her first name. Thank you, Stacy. Pamela. the the Akashic hard drive was lagging. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, sorry. So Aquarius. Let's focus on tools, okay? So third house tools, the tools that you need to develop and cultivate in order to walk your own path. So Jupiter, Cazimi in Aries in the third house. As an Aqua rising, you are developing tools of individuality, the independence, right? And this Jupiter Sun Cazimi, keep in mind, while Sun is in Aries, Sun is exalted in Aries, meaning that that solar energy is super powerful. So this Sun Jupiter Cazimi in the third house is really asking you, like, okay, what kind of tools have you been working on? And like, what it's almost like that tool, that skill is getting a massive boost. And you might actually find yourself on Tuesday or even later in this week with an opportunity to use that skill. And, again, with this being Aries energy, it might be something that, has never been done before, or just simply you've never done it before. You've never expressed that tool before or expressed it in that way before. You've never had that kind of a conversation, or this is just a new type of conversation specifically. Do it anyway. There might be a little bit of anxiety coming up. It might feel um, like I kind of get the sense of like, okay, it's never been done before, and what if I fail? Well, so what? What if you fail? This is potent energy, so use it wisely this week, okay? Do it anyway. Even if it's not polished. Actually, especially if it's not polished, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is Aries we're talking about. You just have to start it. Okay, so do the thing, get the points. That's that's pretty much my message for Jupiter Cazimi. Do the thing, get the points. What's up, PK? Do the thing, get the points. It doesn't have to be polished. It just has to be started. Um, yeah, like how often, for example, with technology, whether it is a new like gaming platform or operating system or game itself or any kind of like software. I'm thinking technology specifically because we're talking Aquarius here. How often are things released in like an alpha and then a beta and then their official release happens, right? You need to launch things early, um, and get them out there to get the public's opinion on them, to see if people even like the idea, to test the market, to work out the bugs. And often you have to put servers, for example, through stress tests of like, okay, we're launching this day. You do the same thing with restaurants. You have a stress test day where it's like you've practiced, you've done the things, you've like gotten things ready to go, you've got your menu, you've got your servers, you have your drink menu, everybody's trained, but nobody's practiced yet. They haven't been tested yet. So you have to release it, you have to launch it, you got to do a stress test. You have to overload the servers to see how they actually handle it. Find the bugs that you haven't weren't able to find before. You need to launch it anyway, right? You have to do the alpha and then the beta launch, and then you can do the real launch. This is like the alpha or the beta launch, right? That's the Jupiter Cazimi in your third house, Aquarius. So do it, do it anyway, and don't be afraid if you don't think that it's perfect, because you're gonna find mistakes with it later. Uh, anyway, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for that. And how often, like when it comes to, say, for example, music, since I've got a DJ listening, how often do you like put something out and then remix it later, or re-release it or remaster it? Like literally, we do this all the time. Coated in chocolate. Ooh, I don't know what we're talking about, but you can coat it in chocolate 100%. Yeah, exactly. Soft openings. Yes. Yes. Nonsense. What if you succeed? Ooh, that's almost even scary. Stacy, that's even scarier thing for people to contemplate. What if you do succeed? What then? What then? Yeah, it can be better. So, we're talking Aries energy right now. We're not talking Virgo. We are not in Virgo season yet. Coated in chocolate. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about, but you could definitely coat it in chocolate. Uh, oh man. And so what? You know what's really funny about art, okay? Number 1, you're always your own worst critic with literally everything, okay? Whether it's what you're writing, whether it's artwork, or uh something that you're making at work or whatever. You're always your own worst critic. And in addition to that, you would be surprised at how often there's something that you put out that you think is fucking ugly, that somebody else comes along and is like, that right there, that's for me, that's my style, that's my thing, and I love it. It happens a lot. It happens a lot. Um, I've personally been in a situation where I'm like, yeah, I personally think it's trash, and then someone's like, I fucking love this, and I have to like try and pretend that I didn't think it was trash so that I can complete the sale or finish the thing or whatever. Um, but everybody's different. Oh, Sean says, "What do you do with your art when it's done?" Stare at it until I hate it. Fair. That's such a standard artist response. Yeah. So don't stare at it until you hate it. Put it away, or stop looking at it. But anyway, the whole point of the Jupiter Cazimi in the third house, this is launching a new cycle for Jupiter for you, and it's launching a new cycle in your third house. So you have to believe in yourself, and you have to use that tool or do that thing or launch that thing anyway. And keep in mind, third house can be like marketing, right? It can be, it's funny that I keep talking about sales. I didn't actually mean for that to work so well, but third house can be marketing and sales too. So anyway, what's up? We be vibing. We're vibing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's 6 years later. Like that was dope. Yes. Or six years later, you look at it and you're like, you know what? I've come so far since then. I'm in a totally different headspace, but that was fantastic for where I was at. Yeah, marketing's scary. I don't like marketing, but did I learn what I wanted to learn? Yeah, yeah. Did I learn, or did I express what I needed to express at the time, right? Um when it comes to like artwork, for example, uh there's certain things that I have personally wanted to express, anger being one of them, for example. Um, but it's like I keep getting caught in my head with like trying to make it beautiful when that's not what I'm trying to express, right? And I'm not necessarily talking about making art for other people. I'm talking about like making it for yourself. Um, so it's not necessarily about making it perfect or making it beautiful. It's about expressing what needs to be said or what needs to be expressed. And sometimes something that's jarring or unusual or weird or not necessarily super aesthetically pleasing is actually the thing that will get the job done, right? So keep that in mind too. Okay, Aquarius, what are your cards? Let's see. Jupiter Cazimi in the third house. What do we got going on? Boom. Ace of Pentacles. Yes. I love that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So there's something going down this week that's bringing you some kind of reward. Some kind of physical, tangible reward. It's coming out with the Queen of Swords. So there's the communication aspect. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I'm going to bring the chart back up for a second. Because I connected it to the astrology. So Jupiter for you guys rules the second house of finances, right? Your personal finances, and your 11th house of like the rewards and like promotions and bonuses. So both of these houses actually deal with finances for you, Aquarius. So Jupiter Cazimi in the third house could literally be you receiving some kind of communication or speaking to somebody about or getting news about a reward, a promotion, or some kind of gift or something that's being given to you, literally. So that's actually kind of cool, Aquarius. Keep an eye open for that. Yeah, love it. We be vibing. Yeah, me too. Me too. During mundane grind hours, right? I was like, you know what? I need a real job. So let's go to work earlier on Monday. Word. Yeah. But yeah, so Aqua Rising especially, keep an eye open for that. It could be some good news in that regard. Alternatively, this could be you considering how you're using or being encouraged rather to consider how you are using a reward that you have gotten already. Oh, there's the Seven of Pentacles again. Oh, nice. Check it out underneath. That's the, oh gosh. There's the Four of Wands, so that's kind of cool because that's where the Cazimi's happening is in the third decan of Aries. Ooh, could be new job. Love it. Tax returns. That could totally be Ace of Pentacles stuff. Totally. Tax return. Yep, that's getting money back, right? So how are you going to use it, right? What are you going to do with it? Now that you've gotten this gift, this boon, this reward, this promotion, this new job, or whatever it is, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to invest it? How are you going to multiply it and make it into something better or more? Or, how are you going to use it to further yourself in some way? So literally that's what the cards are saying, right? We got the Ace of Pentacles, we got the Queen of Swords, and then the Seven of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords wants you to carefully consider multiple options and use both logic and feeling, right? So it's really important, specifically with finances, to not make decisions based off of feelings. However, there's always at least one good however with astrology. However, what you could do is consider how you want to feel in the future. So, like, you might be going through hell right now, with maybe there's a bunch of challenges that you've had recently with, like, work-related things and not feeling like, you're, uh, uh, able to even make ends meet in some way, right? Or maybe there's and I'm sure for a lot of people that is definitely true considering inflation and all that stuff, but there's likely been some challenges, right? The last couple of years have been very challenging for a lot of different reasons. Now you're getting some kind of gift, some kind of, something that's going to help you out in some way. Queen of Swords wants you to plan carefully how you're going to use that. Um, and remember that it is really important to pay yourself first, right? Especially with the Seven of Pentacles coming out as well. Seven of Pentacles is talking about needing to plan for the long term and needing to have like an emergency fund for when things go sideways, right? Because things go sideways, period. They just do. So, um, how can you take this reward and have it multiply, right? How don't waste it, obviously. And how can you take this energy, this boon or this tool that you've got, um and use it to help you do that. Especially considering this Cazimi is happening in your third house of marketing. Um, how are you marketing yourself? How are you advertising yourself? How are you appearing to other people when you go for, say, a job interview or when you go to make that software or hardware launch? The marketing campaign is just as important as the product itself. Obviously, if you have a really polished and beautiful marketing campaign, but your product is trash, that's no good. But like I said, like I said, this is Aries energy. It's not about having it be absolutely perfect. You will perfect it as you gain experience in it, right? This is not about perfecting it. It's about getting it out there and just launching. So, some things to keep in mind. Word. Okay. Alrighty. Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorn. This is happening in your fourth house. The house of home. So, um, so we just had Easter weekend, right? Uh, and I brought the boyfriend to meet the family. So it was really fun. It was a great dinner. My aunt always feeds us way too much, of course, standard family dinner stuff. And I was just kind of chuckling to myself because we've got this meetup of these two archetypes happening. And specifically for me, it's happening in the fourth house of like your family. And fourth house is in traditional astrology and like Hellenistic astrology, the fourth house is considered father. 10th house is mother. Modern astrology flips it. And Vedic astrology flips it as well. But I don't know. I've seen both. But anyway, so we're with my dad's family, and we've got this super solar figure. So oftentimes, on a literal level, the sun can represent a father figure. So my dad's passed away, so he's not around, but my uncle is very much a father figure, right? And he was meeting my boyfriend, who is literally a Sagittarius rising, so that's Jupiter. I just thought it was really funny, kind of fun. seeing these two archetypes in the chart and then seeing it play out in real life. It was interesting. Okay, so anyway, Jupiter Sun Cazimi, or Jupiter Cazimi rather. This meetup in the 4th house. This could be quite a few things for you, Capricorn, but specifically when it comes to, like, say, for example, expressing your beliefs, which is kind of a Jupiter word, and being confident about expressing them, how do you feel about that? Like, are you able to talk about um, what you've been doing, tools you've been developing since Jupiter rules the 3rd house, and your spirituality since Jupiter rules the 12th house? Are you able to talk about those things with family? And for some of you, this could be taking some tools that you've learned to use and using them from home, right? Like literally, I'm thinking like working from home. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of tricky. This is an interesting one to interpret because the sun is your 8th house lord. And then we got the 12th house involved here and the 4th house involved here. So even though this is a very solar transit, literally, we're talking about Jupiter in the heart of the sun, it's happening in a hidden house and it's involving other hidden houses. So, on some level, this is a much more spiritual and emotional transit for you, Capricorn. It's like there's something being renewed, some like belief in yourself, or there's something really, some kind of rebirth actually occurring in the home, right? The 4th house is literally your literal physical environment, where you live, where you lay your head to rest uh, at night, where you're rooting down. And on a like on an esoteric level, this is like your deeper emotions, the deepest needs that you have, and who you are when you are completely safe and at home. So despite this being like a very fiery transit, it's a very spiritual one for you, Capricorn. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. What's up, Thunder Chicken? I'd be really curious what else is going on in your chart. And what house you have Lilith in. Anyway, good old X's. I love that name, by the way, Thunder Chicken. I don't know why it cracks me up a little bit. They're like little freaking dinosaurs, man. They're savage. Just little savages. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyway, Capricorn, what do we got for you? In the 10th, Lilith in the 10th. Word. Okay, here's a question for you since you're here and you know your chart. What is it that you do? And has there been a time in your life where you felt ashamed or like you have to hide what it is that you do? Like for a career? Scorpio, Leo, Libra. That's fun. Scorpio rising, Leo sun, Libra moon. That's cool. I grow cannabis. Definitely not accepted by society. Fun. He grows he, she, Thunder Chicken grows cannabis. Word. Yep. Okay. Any strippers in the house? Okay, so anyway, Capricorn, let's see what you got for cards. It's an interesting fourth house transit. So, what can we expect for the Jupiter Cazimi in the fourth house for Capricorn? Half the deck. Okay. Not ashamed, just cautious. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I had this I've I've had this so I'm gonna share a story because I'm a Capricorn rising and I literally just experienced this. Um so I've been developing my astrology and tarot, right? To turn this into a legitimate career. And I'm sitting there with my s- fairly conservative, not like super conservative, but fairly conservative Christian family. And it's like half of them know what I do. The other half of them, I haven't told them directly. They probably know, but I wasn't the one to tell them. And I'm sitting there like inevitably the question comes up of like, How you doing? What's new?" And I'm like, I actually have a lot new going on, but um how much do I want to how much do I want to tell you, right? Like, do I really want to have a philosophical debate about whether tarot cards and astrology is of the devil on fucking Easter or not? And I'm laughing because, that was part of me watching this transit play out is, I've got a certain set of spiritual beliefs and ideas, and I do a certain amount of like esoteric research, and I'm really interested in this esoteric stuff, but I want to keep it private. But it's like I kind of can't. Anyway, I don't know. It's like it's super visible. Okay, so anyway, sorry. What do we got for Capricorn? Jupiter Cazimi, fourth house. Stay focused. The devil card, of course. Good to see you showing up. Oh, it's all good, PK. That was specifically a question for Thunder Chicken, based on Lilith. That was one of those cases of this is something that I've read about, but I need more data. So I had the opportunity to ask a question about something that I'd read about that I need more data on, and I got some data. So appreciate that. Come out the mystic closet. Scary. It's scary. Okay, anyway, Capricorn, good to see you show up to your own reading. Devil card here. First card that came out. What are you afraid of? Harness that willpower. What beliefs do you have that chain you? With the fourth house, we're talking about our ancestry as well. And we're talking about what keeps us rooted. For the Capricorn map, Aries things, Aryan and martial things keep us rooted. Being individuals and cultivating a sense of independence keeps you rooted. Devil card is like, you got to take responsibility for something. Of course, like tell Capricorn that they have to take responsibility. It's a fucking joke, but but they do. So that includes taking responsibility for your own emotions and um recognizing where you're not supposed to take responsibility. So how other people react, that's not your responsibility. How other people feel or what they think or what their beliefs are, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is about what you think about you. Your responsibility is how you act, how you react. what your feelings are, what your opinions are. Other people's opinions don't matter. So don't pay attention to them. Woo! There they are. Thank you. And then we got the Ace of freaking Wands and the Eight of Wands. Sick. Holy fuck. Damn. I had to say that first. And it's so funny. I swear to God, you guys. I can't do a reading for myself. But as soon as I'm doing it for other people, I get messages that I need to hear. And that's what just happened. Every time. Capricorn. You have to take personal accountability. You have to be responsible for yourself. Check this out, okay? See that torch in his hand? That is his own willpower. That is you harnessing your willpower. There it is. There's something that's been holding you back. All right? Something that quite likely it is an underlying belief, probably installed or programmed from childhood, from very early childhood, as most of them are. That limiting belief is holding you back in a major, major way. And whether it is, for example, going back to my example that I just gave, whether it is worrying about other people's opinions, even if they're really close to you, even if they've been really supportive in the past, how often do we hold ourselves back from being authentic, right? From being honest and truthful because we're worried about how someone else is going to react. We can't fucking control them, and that's not your job. So express yourself freely, okay? This is going to free up so much energy that you're going to be able to actually channel it and use it appropriately, or, appropriate to you. And even if you're on a path that someone else disagrees with, that doesn't matter. And, deal with whatever fallout does come up. But it's like as soon as you kind of like realize this, work through this, and maybe not, there's no sword energy here, so it's not necessarily that you're expressing it outwardly, but you're definitely expressing it energetically. As soon as that happens, it's like some kind of message comes in, you receive some kind of invitation or message, or it's like new beliefs are able to replace the old ones. And then literally the emperor's underneath. There's a lot of like fatherly energy here. It's like you are learning how to be your own dad. And it's I don't know, it's funny. I've talked about on my channel before previously. I've definitely talked about mothering yourself. I think that was a big theme last week. This week for you, Capricorn, it's fathering yourself, right? So you got to just fucking do it. I have some reasons for you, Ariel. She asks, why is that so hard to say or act how I want without worrying about how it makes someone else feel? It's because you've been in the situation before, probably with a parent, where they made you feel guilty or responsible for their feelings. It happens really early. Usually from growing up in a dysfunctional family. Something goes down and the child has to step up in some way and take care of a parent usually, or tiptoe or walk on eggshells, or it's because of abuse. So you're put into a position where you're forced to act in that way, and then you're programmed to do that. So the challenge becomes, once you realize it in adulthood, now you have to reprogram those beliefs. You're not responsible for what someone else feels. You're not responsible for that. Yeah. Right? So like needing approval and needing love from external sources will cause you to shoot yourself in the foot every single time. So you need to let go of that and work on that. So that is a belief, Capricorn, that is likely coming up for you that it's time to let go of, right? You don't need to hold on to that anymore. Um, Especially considering just based on your map, right? Being anchored in Aries, with Aries as the fourth house, your own approval, okay? You're supposed to cultivate self-sufficiency. And in order to do that, you have to let go of what other people think. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter, okay? And all week, this week, is do the thing, get the points. That's the Jupiter Cassini in Aries. Do the thing, get the points. So what do you think about you, right? When you hold your tongue or when you hold back from doing something or saying something that would be authentic to do or say, how do you feel about yourself afterwards, right? So anyway, that's what actually matters. Big message for you, Capricorn. Big week this week. Do the thing, get the points. And stop giving a fuck about what other people think. You're literally the supposed to be, okay, the devil card. Capricorn is the master of the 3D physical reality. So why do you give a fuck about what anybody else thinks? Right. So Sagittarius. Get that points bag word. Anytime you'd like to load would be great. Sagittarius, this transit for you guys is happening in your 5th house. This is the house of fun and joy and romance and creativity and risk and games and lots of stuff like that. Children. Did I say children? It's the house of children. So 3rd decan, Jupiter, Cazimi. I love it. I freaking love it. So Jupiter is your ruling planet, right? As a Sag rising, Jupiter rules Sag. That's your chart ruler right there. Whew. So this is bringing for you, quite literally, just like Pisces, is bringing a like a personal rebirth and a personal like reboot, kind of, you could consider. It's like, oh wow, hold up, check it out. I just split the deck. It's Temperance, that's you, and then Ace of Pentacles. I don't always look at the bottom of the deck, and it isn't always a immediately applicable or immediately obvious thing, but I love that Ace of Pentacles and Temperance. Ooh, beautiful. Temperance is your card, and Ace of Pentacles is a gift, so that's fantastic. Okay, do the thing. Do the thing, get the points. Yeah, I say that at every sports ball game. Okay. Ooh, so Sagittarius. This is a reboot, okay? A replenishment in the area of your 5th house. So your creative juices, hobbies. If you're a small business owner, this is the house that deals with that. Damn. I just keep splitting the deck as I'm shuffling here and looking, and it's like Wheel of Fortune. There's the 8 of Swords. 10 of Cups. Holy shit. Okay. So considering Jupiter's been invisible, you quite likely have been feeling maybe like, maybe it's time to do things from a more behind the scenes point of view, right? Maybe you've needed a little bit more rest, or maybe you've needed to just take a step back and take a break from things for a little bit. That's okay. Tuesday, Jupiter Cazimi, freaking fantastic. It's like all of a sudden there's just like a refreshing wave of energy that comes over. It's like romance and passion and joy and fun is suddenly like easier to find and easier to access on Tuesday. So that's really freaking beautiful. I love it. You could consider this to be like an oasis moment, right? Um, if you've been, really struggling lately to find fun, it's like suddenly there's this activity that comes along, or this opportunity, or this romantic intrigue that begins this week. Oh, I just split the deck again, and there's the Ace of Swords turned over. Okay, so that's your first card. That's weird. The I don't know what's going on with the deck today, but it's like really vocal. The 2021, it is at 21 degrees and 40 arc minutes. Champagne Supernova. Yeah, exactly, but not a shitty song like that. Ugh. Yeah, anyway, Sag, the uh the deck really wants to talk to you. So, yeah. Ace of Swords. Okay. What else? So we're gaining some pretty fantastic insight uh about what? What are we learning about? What are we expressing? Seven of Cups. Okay. It's a lot of options. Perhaps we're able to finally cut through the fog in some manner. Um and then the King of Cups. Okay. All right, so Sag. Not an Oasis fan. Nope. Someday you will find me. That's the whole song. I hate it. Um, glad we can agree on something, Sean. Word. Not yeah. No amount of nostalgia can make that song a good song. Okay. All right. Sagittarius. Oh my gosh. So what's up with this Ace of Swords? There is some insight or some sudden clarity that you're gaining this week, which makes sense. Jupiter Cazimi, Jupiter is your chart leader. The sun is a giant freaking spotlight. So it's like all of a sudden there's this like this beam that comes down, and you make a major realization about some romantic situation, some creative situation, some something something goes down uh where, oh gosh, yes, it's like up until this point maybe you were a little bit confused, maybe you were a little, not quite sure which choice to go with, and then all of a sudden it's like the fog clears and you go for the mushroom. Doo-doo-doo-doo, level up. Yeah, I love that, I love that. um And then we got the King of Cups hanging out here. So I feel like that fits that narrative really, really beautiful. Yeah, exactly. No amount of 90s nostalgia is gonna dress that fucking turd up. Uh, uh, so Sagittarius, take this major insight, this major beacon of light with you over the rest of the week. Whether it helps you see, um, whether it helps like clarify some of your own beliefs, or helps you clarify some of your own thoughts, or even helps clarify something about how you feel in a romantic situation or a creative situation. It's like it might have been confusing and foggy, and like maybe you weren't quite feeling it, but now there's like some communication takes place, some insight comes in, and then it's like bam, now I get it. And it's like now you're able to settle into this more mature way of operating. Now you're able to express some of your emotions more freely. um and yet stay anchored in your own sense of integrity and authenticity. That seems to be a big theme, is authenticity. Oh, now we're on a 90s nostalgia train in the chat. Okay. Yeah. So, I don't know, I kinda feel also like for you, Sagittarius, there's something it's almost like you need to be honest about your feelings, um, or honest about if you've had any challenges, specifically with your creativity. Like maybe you've hit like a writer's block or an artist block or something. You just don't know what to do, you don't know what to make, or don't know how to express yourself. Um, I kind of get the the feeling of like you get some kind of like idea, and that idea, or actually somebody is honest with you. They open up and are honest with you, and give you some kind of insight into what they're feeling, and then it's like, boom, things start making sense and start becoming clear. Um, and by the end of the week, this might be challenging. Actually, this might be fairly challenging. Some kind of test, but by the end of the week, I see you like sitting pretty and feeling comfortable and secure, even though there might be some roiling waters around you, you know, some stormy stuff going on around you. That doesn't matter because you are anchored, you're safe, um, and you're being mature about how you come across. Yeah. So anyway, that's Sagittarius. Yeah, it's all good. I love seeing the side chat. Um, side chat's fun. Okay. Um, yeah, anyway, Sag, I like it. I like it. We see insight, we see challenge, and we see maturity, right? It's badass. Okay, Scorpio. So Scorpio. For you guys, this Cazimi is happening in the sixth house. Now, specifically for Scorpio rising, sixth house Cazimi of Jupiter and Aries. Hmm, I could see this being for you guys as soon as it decides to load. Anyway, apologies, it's still on the Sag rising, but that's fine. We can talk about it. I could see this being a total renewal in your routine, like maybe not completely changing things up, but you start something now. You start something now that is ultimately very healing for you. Um, and that could be so many different things, but or even it doesn't even have to be something that you're starting new, but something that you have um kind of just started, or like over the last year, 2 years tops, something that you've just started to incorporate. It's like there's a renewal of that energy now, and whatever seeds you're planting for health specifically, be mindful of what be mindful of what kinds of seeds you're planting. Um, because this again, like I said at the beginning, if you listen to the beginning, Jupiter is not always 100% positive. This is a refreshing and a renewing of that energy. So use it wisely, right? Um, with the Aries being your sixth house, Uh, Often, okay, Scorpio needs to have a very active routine. I mean, I think everybody does, but Scorpio even more so. It's like you really need that. So anyway, this is a renewal, a refreshment of the energy of expansion for you. Okay, so Jupiter actually rules your fifth house and your second house. So both finances and creativity and joy and romance are tied into this particular transit. So it's almost like something. It's almost like what you a really good way, a positive way that you can use this transit is to incorporate something or renew something about your routine that involves something that's playful and joyful for you that ideally doesn't cost very much but um helps you in some way. It's like using stuff that you already own, right? Using materials that you already have that's are already surrounded by that you don't have to purchase, that you just, your own body weight is an example, like calisthenics, just as an example, or, stuff that you've got laying around. Like, I actually picture in my mind doing like farm chores, and that is your workout. Like, um but finding a way to gamify it, the fifth house has a lot to do with games, and Jupiter loves games. So finding a way to gamify your routine, your health routine, finding a way to make it fun, to make it playful, and finding a way to do it in a very low cost and frugal way will be like an ideal way to use this transit. That's definitely a thing. Let's see. What's kind of cool, actually, also just kind of side note, since Sun rules your 10th house of like career and public image and stuff, um, I gave an example, or I mentioned earlier during Capricorn that sometimes when I'm doing a reading, I struggle to do it for myself. So when I do it for other people, then then a bunch of messages start coming out that I realize I need to take. So it could even be that like you are uh, starting to incorporate something into your daily routine that you're going to use to not necessarily teach other people how to do it, but um, create a job out of it, create a career out of it. Right, sixth and 10th house are both talking about career. So that's kind of cool. It's like this is the beginning of, or you could be planting seeds right now for a really promising career if you choose to go in that direction. So anyway, it's kind of neat. Nice. Oh, hell yeah. Thunder Chicken's doing farm stuff as you listen. Yes. Yes. Yep. Oh, no, I refuse. I will not stop. Can't make me. Okay, Thunder Chicken says I'm a Scorpio with Jupiter in the seventh house, Aries. Yes. Oh, okay. So you're. Well, how does that work? Jupiter is the seventh with a Scorpio rising. Trying to picture that in my brain. Trying to picture that in my brain, and I'm having trouble with that. But that's okay. Do it. Why are you planning? Go for it. Just do it. Sean, stop planning. This is Aries energy. Just go do it. Stop it. Ah, that's funny. Oh my gosh. My job is my workout. That's the best. I every all of the time, every single time I've had a job that's been like physically oh, Libra rising Scorpios. Okay, that makes more sense. I mixed up your rising sign. Every time I've had a job, like a day-to-day job that is more physical in nature, I'm always healthier. That's just how it goes. Um, Scorpio Sun, Libra rising. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, how the fuck does that work? Procrastinating is a more honest word. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, when we're talking Aries energy, there's no planning. Okay, you can't plan that shit. You can, but you just got to go and do it. Scorpio, you're cute. Scorpio, just do it. And to be fair, okay, for the Scorpio rising map, so this is another way to think about the sixth house. Hold on, let me bring it back up. For the Scorpio rising map, the sixth house, that theme, whatever it is, even though yes, you're technically both ruled by Mars, still the sixth house is stuff that can make you feel ill, but you need to do in order to be healthy. It's kind of funny. It's a bit of a catch-22. So for Scorpio, like the theme of Scorpio is not just do it. They're often planning in, behind the scenes, right? They're way more calculating as an archetype. So to just go and do it the Aries way is like that feels like no, it's not a good idea. Right? Like to just jump in and go and do is like that could be scary. Not nah, scary is more an eighth house word, but it can feel like, that's ugh. I just get an ugh feeling with the sixth house, like, ugh, I have to take care of that. Yeah, you do. You do have to take care of that. And for Scorpio, it's like, no, you just gotta go and do it, dude. Okay. Just do it. You can do it. I've been watching a lot of Adam Sandler movies. Oh my god. Thank you very much. Okay, so anyway, cards for Scorpio. What do we got for you, Scorpio? So Jupiter Cazimi in the sixth. Third decan Aries. Scorpio rising. Okay, the Queen of Swords really wanted to come out. This is weighing things in the balance, trying to, determine what to take care of first on the long list of things to take care of. Well, what to take care of first, honestly, go with something that has been weighing you down that you really need to take care of. This is the art. This is the golden Art Nouveau. I never say that word right. I realized I was pronouncing it the like Spanish way for a while there. Yeah, I don't know. I only speak one language and it's English, and it's not very good English. Okay, so anyway, Scorpio. So if you've got a list of shit that you have to take care of, okay, mundane tasks, tedious things, whatever it is, whether it's like farm chores, nouveau, thank you. I've been like nuevo. uh, yeah. So anyway, if you've got like a bunch of shit that you need to take care of, right? And you're weighing like, all right, what do I want to take care of here? This task is more pleasurable, but this task like really needs to be done on the priority list. It's definitely higher up there. Fucking taxes. Word. And you know what? Sixth house, we can be talking about debt with the sixth house. So anyway, what do you need to take care of? But The cards right now are saying take care of the thing that you absolutely know needs to get done, even if you really don't want to, especially if you really don't want to do it, just fucking do it. Um, because you're gonna feel 10,000 times better afterwards. And once that hard thing is done, once that difficult task is finished, it's like things lighten up immediately and it's like, ah, so much better. Now you can take care of things that are actually more pleasurable and you'll have more energy to do those things. Take it from someone that is predominantly very Capricorn. Personally, I have a hard time doing fun things if I know that I have something that I really need to take care of that is just naturally higher on the priority list. Like I feel like existential guilt playing video games. Okay, that's just me. That's not everybody. That's just me. But literally, what we got for the cards here is the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and then the Knight of Cups. So it's like no matter what you're weighing, whatever your options are, ideally, you need to take care of the difficult thing, the hard thing, the thing that fucking sucks the most. The nice thing about the 10 of swords is it's finishing. It's completing, right? You're finishing and ending that thing. So, and you know what? 10 of swords feels like taxes. That totally feels like taxes. Right? Taxes is money, sure, but 10 of swords, it's swords in the back. So that's kind of funny to me. But anyway, once you deal with that thing and do it, then it's like you have so much more energy to go and play, which is what the Knight of Cups is all about. Um, it's like there's a sweet reward after you've taken care of the shitty task, right? What video games do I play? It depends. Depends on the week. Uh the last week I've been playing Civ 6. I'm working on my world domination skills. Okay. Yeah. I'm fucking trash at diplomacy, so I've been working on that. Okay. Not gonna lie though, I am looking forward to playing the new Diablo when I get a chance to justify purchasing it. Yeah. Okay, so Libra. So Libra rising. Libra rising. This Cazimi is taking place in your 7th house, the house of partnerships. So, 7th house, contracts, partnerships, one-on-one relationships. Not just your spouse. So yes, it is the house that deals with marriage, but so much more than that. Whoa. Okay. Cards are talking already. All right. So anyway, Jupiter Cazimi in the 7th. Really fantastic. Thunder Chicken, you've got a Jupiter return coming up. That's pretty badass actually. So that's cool. So this is a renewal and it can be an oasis point, a momentary moment, a temporary respite. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay, energy is moving. I need some water. One sec. Oh, we're at 2 hours. I'm gonna take a quick sec to like stretch while I talk about Libra. So this can be super positive in terms of relationships. But again, like I said at the beginning, please remember Jupiter's not always pure positivity. Now, Jupiter is going through a rebirth. So I'm going to give you like best case scenario for this transit. But keep in mind that this is not always a super it's not always 100% positive all of the time. Okay? But anyway, this can be a a totally new phase beginning with some relationship that you're in. A business partnership, a romantic relationship, definitely. That can be what this is. Or like quite literally, you might be watching your partner if you are, say, married or in a long-term committed relationship, or you have like a business partner or something like that. You can be watching them experience something really nice and positive, and where they have like this beautiful moment of respite and peace. That's definitely a thing. Now keep in mind Jupiter rules your third and your sixth houses. So this could be uh, we're in danger of getting really complicated here, but so we're gonna try and not get too complex with this. But um this could be like uh your siblings and your workmates um come together and like surprise you and your spouse, or like something's going down in your neighborhood, or there's even like some kind of tool or communication tool that you have that assists you in like communicating and expressing something to a partner or to a spouse or to a business partner that just helps bring them a moment of peace. Or, alternatively, it could be quite literally, since Vedic astrology, they consider Jupiter to be one of the planets that indicates marriage and children. It's a couple different things, but it's considered one of the karakas of marriage. Um, this would quite literally be like not necessarily announcing a wedding, but really committing. I kind of want to say like Saturn is more long-term commitment, but still like committing in like a spiritual way to a partner, or something like that. Let's see, how else could I put that? You or your partner could actually receive some kind of like gift or boon or reward, since Sun rules your 11th house, that you can incorporate somehow, or it is the result of perhaps some serious efforts that you've put in, and maybe even the result of some kind of marketing or some kind of thing that you wrote. So that's some of the results that you could see. What I how I would suggest using this energy. Let's say you are a single Libra. You're a single Libra. You've got this really beautiful thing going on in your seventh house. Of course, if you are not looking to start romance, that's fine. The that's more fifth house stuff anyway. This initial sparking and the beginning stages of a romance, right? That's fifth house. Seventh house is like committed partnership. Um, but let's say you're single, okay? So in that case, keep an eye open for like people that you meet and people that you talk to, or people that come up to you, or if you have clients, like let's say you have a consulting thing, where literally you're consulting people one on one. That's a seventh house relationship too. So it could be not necessarily like a spouse or a romantic situation, but there could be a number of different opportunities for this Jupiter Sun energy to present itself to you on Tuesday. So keep your eyes peeled, right? You might be surprised actually where it comes from. But it's almost like it gives you some kind of I want to use the word insight, I guess. Some kind of insight into a tool or a pet or um a group maybe that you belong to, a bunch of friends that you belong to, some kind of not corporate group, but I don't know, some kind of club. There's some kind of club and it's like you receive an invitation or something like that. goes down this week. But specifically uh, for you, Libra, if you're looking for a way to use this Jupiter Cazimi energy, you could write something, right? Like you could write a letter. It doesn't have to be to anybody. It could be to Jupiter itself, or to the sun, or to God, or to anybody really. But third house is writing, right? So you could write something. You can I just keep I'm sorry, I just keep picturing somebody doing farm chores while they're listening to me and like, how can I work chickens into this? I'm pretty sure livestock is more like 12th house, whereas 6th house is like your personal pets. But unless you have chickens as pets, I don't know. Uh, yeah, secret society meeting word. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Like if you're in a position like Thunder Chicken where it's like, all right, I have no interest in getting married, no family left, don't give a fuck about dating, which would be fifth house anyway. Business partnership is totally the way that it can manifest, right? Like there's something that you could put out in like writing or as a result of something some kind of marketing that you've done, or it's from your own neighborhood. Maybe they like see and witness all of your hard work, right? Because sixth house has a lot to do with this, your day-to-day work and service and stuff. um and like you meet them because of friends or something like that, and it's like boom, new business partnership, totally. It took me a second to put that together. Order of the order of the thunder chicken. Oh man, 12 chickens, 17 sheep, 2 cows, and a horse. I love it. Secret society meeting. The order of the thunder chicken. Oh my god, everyone gets a doobie and a gun. All right. I'm in. Oh my gosh. Okay, Libra. So there's the fun thing, but also the frustrating thing for me with astrology is like there are literally thousands of ways of how a single transit can play out, especially once you start considering all of the houses involved. Ah, so I do my best to try and give you guys some of the archetypes and some of the themes and like go from there. And I mean, specific examples are really helpful, so I try to give some of those. And so yeah, I don't know. I really appreciate Jenny. We gotta tell them that joke now. I really appreciate when you guys share some of your own experiences. Again, it helps me learn, but also it helps other people connect with what's going on in the sky too. Now, Jenny says, sounds like an Earth plane starter pack. So she's got this idea that like when you come and incarnate into Earth, oh God, you gotta tell Jenny. It's like everybody needs this starter pack when you come to Earth. You need like a good dose of mushrooms, a couple a couple of other resources, and then like a guide, like a how-to guide. But we don't get that. But anyway, Libra, what do we got for you? Um a Libra rising, that's really interesting. So all this Aries energy is like speaking of like independence and doing things um in like a self-sufficient, or yeah, just like a self-sufficient kind of way. But for the Libra map specifically, that is about like navigating diplomacy, speaking of diplomacy, or navigating relationships in general, which doesn't mean that as a Libra rising you're failing if you're not in a relationship. That's not it at all. um that'd be such a that's trash astrology. um but it can be like uh especially because there's so many different kinds of relationships. So the Libra map is all about cultivating relationship, and at the same time, the seventh house being an Aries energy with all this the Jupiter Sun Aries energy is really strong. So it's like, how can you be open to the experience of others uh, while managing your own needs? And I know we talked about that a lot with the full moon last week, so I won't walk into the internet. Yeah. So I won't go super deep into that. But anyway, yeah, welcome to the internet pack. Most of it is fake. Um, don't share your personal information. Oh man. Okay, so anyway, for cards, Libra, what I got for you guys. So immediately as I was talking, I felt the urge to shuffle. And as I was talking, the Two of Wands came out. Yeah. So Two of Wands. ugh, Um, literally, this is the first decan of Aries. So interesting. It's definitely about specifically stepping out on your own and doing your own thing. It is about individuating away from a consensus reality or a collective individuating away from a collective. The Two of Wands in particular can be sometimes rather brutal in how it goes about doing that, but sometimes you need like a little bit of more force in order to really pull away from that watery collective energy. But anyway, Two of Wands, this is like you're gaining dominion in something. I love the image on the card, right? It's this dude, and he's standing in between these two wands, and he's holding a globe. So he's looking at the world, and it's almost like he's looking into a crystal ball, but it's an earth. So it's like, what kind of vision do you have for yourself for the future? How can you yourself, or what steps do you need to take rather, for you yourself in order, oh my gosh, I can't speak. For for you yourself to embark on this journey, what steps do you need to take? How do you need to break away from a collective or a consensus reality? And then also at the same time, we've got this Page of Cups that came out. So there's this really potent fire energy of like dominion and individuation, but at the same time, this young, more, much more soft water energy. So fascinating. So fascinating. And then the Five of Cups. Huh. So at the same time as you are establishing something and starting something, and there's that just do it energy, there's also this like this subtle reminder to be gentle with yourself. Um, the Page of Cups can also be talking about like cultivating this intuitive, psychic, and artistic energy. It's like it's new, it's just beginning for you. Or it's like a new phase is just beginning with that. And sometimes that uh, that can come with some kind of like grief or loss, which is where this Five of Cups is coming in. And I don't know, it's kind of like I get this feeling of, okay, I want to go and do this thing. Um, and at the same time, it like brings up emotions, or like stuff that you thought you'd, yeah, word. Thanks, dude. It's like there's like this sense of, oh, okay, I thought I dealt with this. I thought I worked through this already. Or alternatively, you're working with somebody else that is very sensitive that and they've got a lot of I don't want to say like a lot of baggage. That's not correct. Uh it's more just like they're going through something at the moment. And even though you've got this direction that you want to go in, these steps that you want to take, this adventure that you're ready to start, uh, you still have to be mindful and take care of this, like this other energy, this other younger, newer, more sensitive energy. Interesting, Libra. I kind of get the feeling like even though this transit's happening in the 7th house, so this could quite literally be this could quite literally be talking about your partner's experience and them dealing with you, or it could be talking about just another aspect of yourself. So you've got this like I'm going to go and dominate and do my thing, but there's like a part of yourself that maybe needs a little bit more attention or a little bit more or a little bit more not attention, that's not the right word either. It's just like there's something that really needs to be expressed artistically or emotionally, and it's like it's really important to not forget about that. I hope that makes sense. Underneath the deck for you, Libra, by the way, just to give a little bit more context, we've got the Hermit. The Hermit to me is always, well, not always, but is usually speaking about a need to like organize and sift through the muck. What is important to keep? What is important to get rid of? What do I need to detox? What do I need to keep adding into nourish, right? Nourishment and detoxing. Um, so perhaps this week, actually, you're beginning some kind of partnership with somebody that can help you through this process of detoxing and nourishing. Because, like, you need to do both. It's like, of course, Libra, right? You need to do both. Um, Getting rid of something and taking in something. So maybe there's some adjustments that need to be made there, and maybe the other individual that you're meeting with this week, um, can assist you with that in some way. So, yeah. Interesting, Libra, very interesting. Chaos Knot says, "If there's farm fresh eggs, I'm in." Word. Okay. Speaking of the Hermit, Virgo. Okay, I'm just take a quick second here to like actually stretch because I kind of did a fat half-ass job. So just give me a sec. Um, I like taking a quick little body break, especially on these longer streams. 2 hours is a lot of time to be sitting still in one spot. So I'm just gonna take a quick moment to ask you guys to politely hit the thumbs up for me. If you're watching this after the fact, I'd really appreciate comments left on the videos. First of all, I read them and I love reading them, but also they help the algorithm pick up my videos, right? So it'll help my channel grow. So really appreciate it when you guys do that. And also keep in mind that at the end of this, I love doing personal readings for people. So instructions are in the description box and on the ticker below if you would like to have a personal reading. Would love to do that. Keep in mind also, like I said at the beginning, that I have a special on my website for astrology and tarot readings. If you enter the code Eclipse20 on checkout, you'll get 20% off. Definitely would encourage you to use that so we can talk about your chart in particular. As I'm going through these horoscopes, um, yeah, they don't know about body break. Um, as I'm like going through these horoscopes and going through each sign, I can only be really general with my predictions and with the descriptions because I don't have your chart in front of me. So there's so much more magic and so much more we can get into, and I could be way more specific if I've got your individual chart. So definitely take advantage of this coupon code. It'll be good until the end of April. Eclipse 20. Okay, one sec. I love it. I love hearing about the synchronicities, Thunder Chicken. So appreciate that. Okay. Who is that? Dawn and Joanne? Body break. Better. Already better. Oh yeah. Getting back into the cozy stuff. Okay. Mm. Also, happy birthday if you are an Aries. Happy fucking birthday. All right, Virgo. What do we got for you? What? Don and Joanne have a YouTube channel? Okay, looking that up. Yeah, so you guys. Um on Canadian TV, speaking of 90s nostalgia, while I was growing up, we had this like government funded thing that always came on a number of different channels. Specifically the kids channels for sure though, called Body Break, and it was like this commercial. Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But anyway, we we had this commercial, like a 10, I don't know, what was it, like a 30 seconds to a 1 minute commercial of these two people, Don and Joanne, and they would like, okay, everybody, don't forget to get up and like exercise. And then they would like be doing something like skiing. I remember the skiing one really prominently. They'd be like skiing or doing something where it's like, oh, Hal and Joanne. Damn it. Oh man, Don, Joanne, and the coach are like radio hosts for one of the radio stations here. So the Joanne is the only one I remembered. Okay, thank you for looking that up. So anyway, they'd be doing something like skiing or dancing or roller skating or something like that, and it'd be like, "Don't forget to move your body, everybody." And yeah, so that's the thing. The jingle was "Body Break," and I'll never forget it till the day I die. And I just threw my mouse. My mouse is like, yeah, get up. Okay. All right, Virgo. Speaking of getting into the body, let us talk to Virgo. So, Virgo, Jupiter, Cazimi in the eighth house. Mm. So, first of all, couple things. Eighth house can be about, well, let's be real with you guys. The eighth house can be talking about some really deep psychological wounds, i.e., traumas, right? The eighth house is associated with unpleasant things that happen that we have no control over, other people's stuff. It is also the house of rebirth. Okay, so for the Virgo map, I think I said this last week when talking about the full moon. But anyway, for the Virgo map, with the eighth house in particular, this is the thing that we think is going to kill us, but is actually going to um, fuel a rebirth. Okay, so this is the thing that we need to have courage in. We need to go into the dark, go into the scary stuff, and face it anyway. Especially with it being Aries, you gotta have courage, gotta have confidence, and just go for it and do it anyways. So specifically for you guys, like this can be a potentially challenging transit, but at the same time, I'm looking at the bottom of the deck right now before I continue my shuffling, and there's the Fool. This is a rebirth, like literally for Jupiter and for you, Virgo. This is a rebirth occurring. Um, so it might feel dark right now. It might feel not very pleasant right now, but this is something that is going to make you a stronger individual. And who knows, with the Jupiter Cazimi, literally on Tuesday, there could be something really beautiful and fortuitous and helpful and healing that takes place. That it's like, wow, things felt shitty for quite a while there, and now all of a sudden there's this boon, this oasis moment that occurs. Okay, so Jupiter for you guys rules your seventh house and your fourth house. So this is what I'm talking about, with the fourth house being things like our ancestry, our parents, our deeper hidden desires and feelings. And the seventh house, of course, being partnerships. Those areas have been a little bit more hidden. There have been a little bit more challenges. There have been as Jupiter has been under the beams of the sun and hidden from us and going through its underworld journey. those things have been more challenging. Now the Cazimi day, ta-da! It's like a rebirth for Jupiter. So that's what I'm talking about. And the sun for you guys rules your 12th house. So it's like 4th house, 12th house, 8th house transit. The fire trine for Virgo is more challenging. Not impossible, just more challenging. So that is a thing. Body breaking that mouse, son. I know. I know. That poor mouse. I'm so sorry. It's a cheap mouse too, so I'm like, please don't die. Um, anyway, Virgo. So potentially challenging, but also hugely rewarding. If you have the courage to go into the deep psychological shit that this is likely to that these transits already have likely been bringing up, if you have the courage to face them, if you have the courage to go into them, to examine them, to really look at some of you, maybe your own self-limiting beliefs that came from childhood, to maybe look at some of the if you can find somebody that can help you look at some of the psychological shit that is underneath the surface that maybe you know is there but still need assistance with working through, there's huge rewards because of this. Now, alternatively, if you're not going through a tough time, and none of that landed for you, the 8th house can just be talking about inheritances, other people's money, shared values. There could be something going on with like your property and a well, this is a house of taxes. I'm just gonna put it that way. You could be dealing with some really big property taxes. Literally, that's big property taxes. Just as an example of one way that this could be playing out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's a big challenge here, okay? But once you work through it, huge rewards at the same time. Okay, both psychologically and quite literally, possibly physically too. Considering this is another financial house. So anyway, the mouse deserved it. It did not. It did not. The mouse didn't do anything to me. I'm losing my voice. This is not good. Need more water. All right, Virgo. Jupiter Cazimi in the 8th. I would like to see what's the best possible outcome. What do we got for what can they expect? What's a nice outcome? Okay, those are two different questions. What can they expect and what's a nice outcome? So, what can they expect? High Priestess, Ace of Pentacles, 6 of freaking Wands. I like that. Thanks, Runes. Okay, Virgo. I like this. So, High Priestess, Ace of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. They all three cards literally came out at the same time. It was like tumbling. So there's a hidden process. There's something that is going on behind the scenes, something that is nudging at you intuitively from your subconscious. And like I was saying, if you have the bravery to go into that, to go into the deep well, there's gold there. Literally. Ta-da! Literally or figuratively, I guess, but the card is saying literally. So kind of cool, kind of interesting. For some of you, this is literally working with like some inheritance. There's something going on with something that you inherited, or something going on with like a shared account or a shared resource of some kind. And there's lots of ways that can be playing out where there's hidden things going on that you have to deal with. And that is the nature of the eighth house. It's like you don't necessarily want to deal with these things, but it's like that sixth and eighth house. They both have this vibe of like I don't want to even look there, but you have to. But anyway, once you deal with it, uh, once you like listen to that intuition, it's like boom, there's a reward there, and then literally you come out victorious. Like that is literally the six of wands is victory. The Six of Wands is the energy of Jupiter in Leo. It's very much being rewarded and being the king for a day, not finding, but facing some challenge, something potentially fairly harsh, and then coming out on top and being celebrated for it, being at the top of the mountain, so to speak. Um, wow. Okay. Fuck. Oh man. Get the feeling also that it's important to not rest on your laurels, so to speak, and this is definitely a phrase that I picked up in AA, so for those of you that have been through 12-step meetings, you're like, "Oh, I've heard that before." But but seriously, what's up, Sage? Um, yeah, there's, like, some victorious moment that happens, but don't rest there. It's like you gotta keep that momentum and keep going with it. Yeah. So, in addition to all that, um there's some kind of disillusionment that's happening right now. So underneath the deck, we've got the Hangman. There's some kind of disillusionment that's happening right now. Um, and that can be like not a very fun place to be in. It's okay. It's not a fun place to be in. There's no kind of about it. It's fucking sucks. Um, however, keep in mind that disillusionment is really important. You have to go through that step before more like I hate using the word enlightenment, but before enlightenment occurs. That's what the bright light around his head is representing. So there's secrets here. Don't be afraid. Dive into the secrets, dive into your intuition, dive into the subconscious, work with that energy, work with the Jupiter Sun um, conjunction in your eighth house. There is a reward there. You will be victorious. Um, and just take heart, right? Take heart. This moment of um, tribulation, right? It is a test, but it is an important test. One that you're meant to push through, one that you're meant to be brave about and conquer ultimately. It's like conquering yourself, though. You're not conquering anybody else. You're conquering your own mind. You're conquering your own habits, your own shit, basically. So anyway, Virgo, those are actually really beautiful cards, and I hope that you will hold on to hope, right? I hope that I'm just gonna say hope a bunch of times, I guess. It is my wish for you, my hope for you that you're able to find something to believe in. Even in those moments where you don't feel like you can believe in yourself, finding something else higher than yourself to believe in can be, for a lot of people, the difference between death and life. So use that, right? Use that. Anyway, that's Virgo. Cancer. So we be vibing. You're still here. All right. Cancer. Yeah. Oh, Leo. Sorry. We're skipping somebody. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Just kidding. Haha, Leo. I would never forget you, Leo. I would never forget you, Leo. All right. So Leo, for you guys, this transit's happening in your ninth house. So that's fun. Actually, ninth house is a very fortuitous house associated with good fortune often. Um, it is the university or the university that you study in or the temple that you study in. And I love looking at it that way. As soon as this decides to change, come on, anytime now. Ugh. But anyway, so Jupiter Cazimi, ninth house, freaking fabulous. This is Leo rising is probably gonna have the best time with this transit, I think. So why? A couple reasons. First of all, Sun rejoices in the ninth house, so it's not only an exalted Sun being in Aries, it's also in its place of rejoicing. So it's like a super powerful solar transit, and Leo is ruled by the Sun. So it's like literally this is fucking beautiful. And then Jupiter going through a rebirth here is like fire on top of fire. Love it. So my youngest is Leo. Word. Your youngest is Leo, like Leo's sun. I love it. Okay. So, oh, legs got to move. All right. Jupiter Cazimi, ninth house. There's a complete reset and refresh and rejuvenation regarding your beliefs, regarding spiritual beliefs. That's ninth house. And like the structures that you learn them from. So this could be like meeting with a teacher or somebody that really inspires you. Um, this could be like meeting with actually, you know what? Since Jupiter rules the 8th and the 5th house, the 5th house specifically I'm thinking of, this could be like your lover, your romantic partner, or your child, right? Because it could be children or romance. Saying something or providing some kind of not a physical thing, but some kind of like mantra or tool or inspiration really that like really lights you up. It really makes you feel refreshed, renewed, or alternatively, you've got something since you're the sun, you've got something uh, to say or to teach or to show somebody and demonstrate to somebody that like helps light them up. You know what I mean? Because literally, Leo, you're ruled by the sun. That is your chart ruler. And it being in the ninth house is like you are teaching somebody. You are in the role of teacher. Um, so use that responsibly. What have you got to show us about Aries? Right? What have you got to teach us about individuality, individuating? Um, and considering Jupiter is going through a rebirth process with this, and it's like we're celebrating Jupiter's birthday. What do you have to teach us about Jupiterian qualities? Um, so yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing for Leo. It's more like you're in the role of teacher. So what are you going to show us about it? What are you going to teach us about it? Ninth house can be also talking about like your things that you're publishing or putting out to the world. Like if third house is marketing, ninth house is like or and writing the book. Ninth house is you're publishing the book and doing like interviews about it and shit like that. Oh, that's fun. Y'all got a fixed uh your sons are in a T square, a fixed T square. That's fun. I bet I bet you're a neat bunch. I love that. Okay, so anyway, uh really cool transit for you, Leo. I'm excited to see what you do with it, right? Because this is a new cycle for Jupiter kicking off. So a new cycle for children and romance and a new cycle for also eighth house things too. So yeah, we'll leave that there. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh my gosh. Some of my cards got flipped upside down. I didn't mean for that to happen. I'm just gonna take a quick sec, guys. Sorry. I started doing this thing. Rachel does it, and I thought it was genius. Where in between readings before doing a new one, she resets the cards so they're all facing one way. And then if something comes out reversed, it is meant to be upside down. It is definitely meant to be upside down. And I really liked that. Thought it was a really neat way of doing it, and it's kind of like an interesting way to energetically reset the cards in between then. So I'm just gonna quickly do that while y'all watch me. Yeah. And just a quick reminder, again, if you would like a personal reading, of course, instructions are down below. And also keep in mind for the rest of the month, if you use the code Eclipse20 while booking through my website, I'll give you 20% off any reading, whether it's an astrology reading or a tarot reading. Boom, there we go. Okay. Oh, disc golf will be really coming up really quick here. It is the season. It's still kind of coldish. It's kind of chilly. We've had some nice days. Like today is actually a pretty nice day. I'm in a basement though, so I'm like I'm huddled up with some fleece, but that'll be really quick here. It's really muddy and gross, and there's still a lot of snow like in places with shade here. Yeah, last frost where I'm at isn't until mid-May. So yeah, it's still a little bit cold, but I will be playing disc golf soon. Okay, so Leo. While shuffling, I have seen both fire court cards, both the Queen and the King of Wands. Oh, and there's the Knight of Wands. All right. It's better. You're welcome, buddy. Okay, Leo, what you got? Wow, what you got for me? Really? Those three? All right. Okay, so Leo. Do we have moral mushrooms here? That's a good question. I would have to look that up. There's a valley not terribly far from here. It's literally called Water Valley. Best place for mushrooms in like all of Alberta, probably. Morals. I think we do have morals. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, so Leo. Like it might still be a little too soon right now in this climate for moral mushrooms. Maybe not. Like we're still getting to like freezing temperatures at night. But anyway, I would have to look that up. Okay, so anyway, Leo. For some reason here, we've got two eights. We've got two eights coming out. We have the Eight of Swords, the Chariot card, and the Eight of Wands. So with the Eight of Swords, I often see this as like getting tongue-tied, feeling like you've got something to say and not sure how to express it, or suddenly realizing like this is the moment in anybody's journey where they've learned something new, like how to divide, for example. Oh, I can divide by 2. That's really cool. And then they realize they can divide by 2 infinitely, and it's like, "Oh, fuck." Now you have too much information, too much stuff to go off of, and it's like all of a sudden you're overwhelmed. That's the 8 of swords to me. Um, but it's almost like I see you taking that energy of too much and turning it into just enough and a major victory. Because then we got the Chariot card, and the Chariot to me, I mean, it's the archetype of Cancer, but it's also got this. It's like the triumph of the sun. Okay, for the from the northern hemisphere perspective, when the sun reaches the Tropic of Cancer, i.e., when it ingresses into tropical Cancer, um, they all the same. It's an oh holy shit moment, totally for sure. Yeah. That is when the sun is at its highest point above the horizon from the northern hemisphere perspective. It's in its most northerly position. From that point, the sun goes back down south, right? So anyway, with the Cancer card, it's this moment of triumph. It's this moment of forward victory. It's like we have finally reached the peak. We did it. Heck yeah. It's this ability to take two very different energies and use both of those energies in order to push toward forward momentum, um, or push forward towards that victory. So kind of cool. It's really interesting. Uh, the ingress of sun into Cancer is like the highest point that the sun reaches, yet the sun is a water feminine sign and it's ruled by the moon. So it's like very different energies, but at the same time, it's like the triumph of both the king and the queen. You know what I mean? So anyway, hopefully this is landing for you, Leo, since you are the sun, right? You are the solar figure, the main character, so to speak. It's it's like you need the assistance of that feminine water archetype in order to actually reach that victory moment. Know what I mean? I think you do. Um, you need to be able to go out and up and down and in. You have to master both. Uh, and the 8 of Swords is kind of like giving me a little bit of a hint of, up until this point, maybe there have been some aspects about either one of those, the out and up or the down and in, that maybe you hadn't fully mastered. Maybe you've been paying more attention to one lately rather than the other. But this Jupiter Cazimi moment, considering Jupiter rules a water and a fire sign, this is like, oh, okay, I get it. I have to master both at the same time. I got to do both at the same time, always. And that's actually what will help propel you and push you towards victory. Then you got this 8 of Wands coming in. The 8 of Wands, in contrast to the 8 of Swords, is kind of interesting, right? So, actually, that's kind of neat. 8 of Swords is a Gemini card. 8 of Wands is a Sagittarius card. 8 of Swords is Jupiter in Gemini. 8 of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. So it's like the rulers of those signs flipped into the opposite signs and they're like talking to each other. Anyway, sorry. I'm gonna just nerd out over here for a minute. Just give me a sec. But anyway, both of those cards, where they are in the astrology chart, they're looking at each other. They're directly opposite. Wow, that's some fun symbolism. So we got this energy of like making a really big deal out of little things and making a little deal out of big things, right? There's like this like kind of interplaying dichotomy going on. And it's like you need to I know. I know. What's up, Chance? What's up, Chance? Leo in the house. So I know, Stacy. It like it's blowing my mind. But anyway, so we've got this interesting dichotomy of like big things, little things, or big ideas, little things, or little things, big ideas. It's like this interesting play. Um, with like this chariot card in the middle, like, wow, I know I'm like way over intellectually analyzing this, but that's just that happens. So you need thank you, Evo Fandango, for helping me bring it back to the real, the practical. Appreciate you very much. You have no idea. But Leo, what I'm saying actually is that there is some skill that you have mastered that previously was fairly challenging, right? When you're learning a new skill, it's challenging. And it's now time for you to take that mastery and teach other people how to do it for themselves. That's what I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with boyfriends or girlfriends. Not this transit anyway. This is a ninth house transit. This is not about romance. I mean, Jupiter rules one of your romance houses, but this is about teaching people, right? And you are the sun. You're teaching somebody. You're teaching us how to do it. You're teaching us how to master our own beliefs. Sagittarius, you're teaching us how to go in and up at the same, go in and down and up and out at the same time. For introspective stuff, right? For deep introspection, but also adventuring outwards. You're teaching us how to do these things. With something that you've already mastered, something that you're already very good at using, something that you that helps bring you a sense of victory, really helps you feel victorious. Yeah, Stacy, me too. I got Jupiter and Leo as well. Okay. So anyway, Leo, what do you have to teach us? Please teach us. Um and also I kind of feel like doing it that way, teaching at the same time that you're doing it will actually increase your skills in that thing tenfold. Yeah, so that's Leo. Now we're on Cancer. All right. Cancer, Cancerians, crustaceans. Cancer. So this is a pretty interesting 10th house transit for you guys. So for Cancer rising, the Jupiter Cazimi is in the 10th house. This is the house of career. We've been talking about this house a lot for you guys. You can consider this to be like a reboot or an oasis moment, specifically with stuff going on in your career or your public image. So, let's say you've just started a new job or something like that, and you're Cancer rising. This could be like having some kind of like a review or a meeting with the boss, but it's a really positive one. And it's like, oh, okay, this is all of the stuff that you've been doing really excellently. And by the way, the moon will trine this aspect. Oh, I'm gonna look at that. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. We're talking about Cancer, so I need to see exactly what the moon is doing at the moment of this conjunction. Oh, moon trines it before it takes place. Yeah. Yeah, moon trines sun, takes the light of sun. Sun joins with Jupiter. Does moon touch Jupiter first? Yeah, okay. Okay, that's really trippy. So Cancer, you are somehow directly involved in this. And it quite literally has to do with your work. Okay, that's kind of neat. All right, sorry. Side quest. Side quest complete. Um Monday night leading into Tuesday, you're probably going to be thinking about something to do with your career. Okay, so tonight as you're going to bed, be contemplating this. What what's going on with your career right now? What's going on with your public image right now? And then Tuesday, as you're getting up on Tuesday, there might be some kind of like meeting that takes place between you and your boss or something like that where maybe you're getting a raise, right? The sun rules your second house of finances. Maybe you're taking on more day-to-day tasks and responsibilities in order to receive that raise. That's quite likely as well. And maybe actually there's something that you some kind of like piece of education, higher education, higher learning that you've completed that you're like now able to incorporate into what you're doing. So kind of cool actually, Cancer. There's a few different ways this can play out for you. As far as like the Oasis side of it is concerned, like you might even find like, especially if you've had a lot of excess energy in your body with Mars going through your first sign right now, going through your first house. If you've got a lot of stuff going on, like personally, literally lots of energy stored up in your body, this is an excellent outlet, right? This is channeling it into keeping busy at work can be really helpful. Um, of course, the other way to look at this is like um, being the recipient of something, um, or having this like moment of grace, this moment of clarity come in specifically about your career and planting some kind of really important seed there. Uh, it might feel like a sudden influx of like stress. So just be mindful of that and make sure that you're literally physically moving your body more in order to help manage that, right? That's how we cope in a healthy way. Yeah, it depends on the chart that you use. The USA is definitely Sun in Cancer. So is Canada, by the way, Sun in Cancer. Actually, our Sun is conjunct Uranus, which is hilarious to me. It makes no sense. But yeah, the Sibley chart is Sag rising, but I've seen other charts. What's up, Z? G Z? Yeah, yeah, exactly. 7-4 is Cancer. Okay. Is it Z or G, or am I completely mispronouncing it 100%? Because that's possible. So anyway, what do we got for Cancer? Well, the the birth chart of a nation is supposed to be the day that that kind of thing comes into effect. And the thing about the United States is that the Declaration of Independence was signed, right? Um, declaring it a sovereign nation or whatever the fuck. You get your constitution and all that. But then after that, there were states that became like their own state, their own independent state after the fact, and then signed on to the union, right? So my question is, if yeah, right, like that could be the new birth chart for the United States, right? So it's kind of like, right? Yeah. right? So that's the thing. Which chart is the real birth chart? So like you've got the original contract and then amendments to the contract, right? Does that change the birthday? I don't know. And the only way to like find out is to have those charts and test it. How do you test it? Same way that you test the birth time of a birth chart. You look at the different timing techniques and look at the actual events that you have the exact dates for and see what matches up. Yeah. So literally the way to test it to see if it's the right chart or not, be like, okay, this is the date Pearl Harbor happened. This is the date 9/11 happened, or this is the date that this particular president was assassinated. So you could take like literal dates like that you have something solid and concrete to go on, and you could look at like nice events too. It just it happens to be that like the traumatic, chart rectification, exactly. It happens to be that the traumatic things are what we remember. So you could take those events and see what they match up to. And that's how you would test it. So it's a long and complicated process, and I'm not interested in doing it. I'm not interested. Okay. Yeah, totally. So anyway, Cancer cards though. Speaking of cancers. So what can Cancer expect from this Jupiter Cazimi? Yeah, Julian calendar, blah blah blah, exactly. It never ends. I feel like I need to be more educated and more practiced at rectification before trying to take that on. But it would be a fun practice project. So anyway, Cancer. 7 of Pentacles again. Yeah. So the Articles of Confederation before, those would be old charts, right? So you could look at those and test those as well. But it's like once a new contract is signed, then that's the new chart. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Cancer. 10th house Jupiter Cazimi. What do we got? We got 7 of Pentacles. All right, what else? What else do we got? So the 7 of Pentacles, what's the long-term investment? What's the long-term game plan? You're planting seeds right now that are going to blossom into a career-defining moment, right? Like this isn't what you're doing today, this week, isn't necessarily going to be the thing that defines your career, but it is starting the process. It's beginning something really important. It's beginning something significant that will grow into the thing that is career defining, right? So with that, another 7, damn, with that, so we've got this Cazimi moment, right? In Aries. So it's not about having something perfect and polished and ideal. It's about starting. It's about launching. It's about pioneering. It's about going your own way and doing your own thing sometimes. We've got 2 7s, okay? Third card hasn't come out yet. We got 7 of Pentacles and 7 of Cups. There's a major challenge here, okay? I'm all about the 7s. 7 is a magical number. It really is very magical. There, when I see these cards, it's about initiation. You're being initiated into something, and you don't just get to go to a new level just cause. There's a test. There's a challenge. There's a task. There's something you have to complete, and finish first. There's something that you have to hand in, you know? There's a ritual that you have to do. You don't just get it. There's commitments and promises and a bunch of shit that's got to go down first. But anyway, specifically the Seven of Pentacles, you're thinking about the long-term plan. What's the long-term plan? It's necessary to plan for when things go awry and when things go sideways, but it's also important to plan for when things go right? When things go correctly. What are you going to do when you're successful at it? What are you going to do when it actually works out? The things that you're initiating right now aren't necessarily, you might not see the fruit of it for a little while, right? We have this Jupiter Cazimi. It's like this momentary, quick little bloop. And then Jupiter will be invisible again until the sun moves far enough away that Jupiter is no longer underneath the beams of the sun. It's almost like you're going to have to wait for a couple of weeks until you really start to see the momentum start to build. But it's still really important to plant those seeds now, whatever it is for your career specifically. Okay. Then with the Seven of, and actually, literally, that to me describes the Seven of Cups right after that, because it's like you've started something, you've initiated something, but you're not going to see the fruit of that labor quite yet. It's like it's hidden, it's foggy. And of course, two sevens, with seven, like I said, it's a challenge, it's an initiation process. Right? Like when it comes to investments, for example, the longer that you have that investment gaining in compounded interest, the bigger that it gets. But it's not a quick thing. It's a very long process. Then we got the Nine of Swords. So what exactly are you stressed out about? Why are you losing sleep? What are you overthinking and really worried about? This Aries energy is not about overthinking it. It's about just going and doing it, starting it, and getting out of your own way so that you actually can go and do it. So maybe actually Cancer, especially, considering Mars is in your sign right now, and then all this Aries energy is kind of like it's making the Mars transit even more moody, even more emotional almost. Because okay, so I'll show you. I'll tell you why. Okay, why is that interpretation a thing? So when there's planets in a sign, okay, so we got Sun, Jupiter. That's what we're talking about today in Aries. That transit is colored by where Mars is placed. Okay, so the planet that provides the tools that these, provides the, think about it as someone's in your house. Okay, someone's in your house. We got where you're hosting a solar character and a Jupiterian character. You're hosting these people in your house. You have to provide for them the food, clothing, shelter, energy, internet, etc. But you're over here in Cancer where it's not as fun to be. It's a little bit moodier. It's a little bit more emotional. It's a little bit more like meh. Meh, 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 meh. It's a little less direct, right? Mars is a very direct planet. It's very about like direct action whenever possible. But in Cancer, it can be extremely protective, extremely protective. It can be defensive, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Protection and defensiveness is not bad at all. And it can also be, a little bit less direct, especially operating in Cancer. A little bit more moody, a little bit more sullen, I kind of want to say. And then Cancer rising, like I just heard from a Cancer rising last week, she said she was having panic attacks. So it's like you got a lot of excess energy. So anyway, if that has been really bothering you, and literally the Nine of Cups is Mars in Cancer. No, not Mars in Cancer. It's Mars in Gemini. It's Mars in Gemini. So anyway, if you're experiencing this like insomnia or excessive mental energy, or just way too much energy being poured into the incorrect places, you need to work it out physically. So, anyway, work it out physically, especially if you're overthinking it and if it's keeping you up at night, okay? And then hang on, because I don't know, I'm just going to say the same exact thing that I already said, but I feel like it needs to be reemphasized. The seeds that you're planting are not going to show themselves right away, but it's still important that you do it because they will grow. You will cut through and see through the fog. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Patience, Cancer. You need patience. Okay. Gemini. Gemini. All right, so Gemini, for you guys, this is an 11th house transit. So we've got this Jupiter Cazimi in the 11th house of your rewards, of promotions, bonuses, of your network, your friend network. Okay. So, most literal basic interpretation, you're meeting people probably, because of a partner or because of work. Um, and maybe even people from your own neighborhood, and really networking with them and connecting with them in really meaningful and beautiful ways. Maybe not, the result can be beautiful because this is the third decan ruled by Venus. The result can be beautiful. You can receive some kind of reward specifically from work that you've been doing, right? You can receive some kind of assistance from a business partner, or maybe even somebody that you're networking with, that you're in contact with, uh, gives you a lead on somebody that ends up becoming a business partner that really like helps you amplify your career and your reach. Use your Gemini, use your playful, creative communication skills to do it, right? This is the house that sun rules for you, is your communication. It's very playful, right? Gemini, have you ever wondered why Gemini is so creative? They have Leo on their third house. Like, they're creative wordsmiths just by nature of being Gemini, but specifically Leo in the third house is like, you're very playful and you have very creative and playful tools. So quite literally, use those tools, um, and go and network, right? Go and have fun with it. Um, Reach out to people that maybe you're otherwise might be a little bit nervous about reaching out to, especially on Tuesday. There's this, like extremely helpful energy for helping you get yourself established and expand that social network that you've got. So, fuck yeah, go and use that energy, Gemini. Yep, patience. Patience, but don't stop planting. Okay, so Gemini. I'm laughing right now in my head a little bit, okay, because I had a tarot reading on Saturday. And the message for her was go play. Like, that was her homework, was go play. Stop it, just go play. And it's just funny. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking of that lady right now. She's a Leo. Anyway, Gemini, what do we got for you for your 11th house? We got oh, whoa. few cards. Okay, Gemini, you get 5 cards today, I guess. That's just how it's rolling. Interesting. 2 10s, a 5, and then the 10 in the major arcana. Okay, so 3 10s. What the fuck? Uh, okay, so 10 of swords. Literally, that's the first one that came out. So Gemini, there's something that actually needs to come to an end. And at the same time, we got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So there's something that's ending, and it's like this fortune is, or this thing that feels fated is flipping around on its head. Something ends, something new immediately comes in. So you got the 10 of swords, Wheel of Fortune reverse, and then 10 of cups. So it's like you are quite literally taking something that is misfortunate or something that feels like it was fated to happen. You're taking that situation, and the universe is rewarding you for ending it properly, for doing the adult thing and completing it and finishing it. It's like, boom, now you're being rewarded. There's the 10 of cups. It's like literally the tables are turning. That's the that's the phrase. I always think of like a bunch of different songs that talk about wheels and stuff like that when this card comes up. Like literally journey, wheel in the sky. Cracks me up, but that's my brain. Uh, so anyway, something misfortunate happens. It fucking sucks, but you deal with it. You're mature about it, and then boom, blessings come in because the wheel of fate turns. It doesn't stop turning. It keeps moving, and then something nice comes in, and then immediately after that, we got the 5 of wands. The 5 of wands can be playful, competitive, or it can be an ego battle. And Gemini, I know you like both, so I'm comfortable with giving you both. Literally, it can be um you have to be a little bit more competitive and up your game in some way. Um, and it can also be like you need to do those things and put out your own work regardless of the competition, regardless of what they're going to say, or regardless of somebody else's ego getting hurt in the process. Like it's not about them. It's about what kind of success do you want to see for yourself. And considering the stuff that you've come through, right? Considering this 10 of swords situation, this thing that felt like it was the absolute end, like just can't go on. And considering that you've been able to take that and turn it into a 10 of cups, like that is literally an amazing transformation. Um we're talking about something that feels like doom and gloom turning into the utmost highest emotional satisfaction. Like that's a freaking amazing transformation. Okay. Um and like I said, the 11th house is rewards. All right. So it's kind of like you're taking this fuel that you have, the fuel being the shit that happened before in the past. You're taking that and it's lighting a fire under your ass to go and accept the rewards that are bound to come to you, that are ready to come to you now. So freaking amazing cards, Gemini. Um, don't be afraid of a little bit of competition. And in fact, use that competition as fuel to keep bettering yourself even more. Okay. You got this. I love that. I love it when they're easy to interpret. Okay, Taurus. Taurus. So quick reminder, guys. Okay, first of all, if you have been here from the beginning, fucking love you guys. Appreciate you very much. And also, it's totally cool if you stop in just for your sign and pop back out again. That's totally cool as well. 3-hour streams, I wouldn't blame you in the slightest. But you might have missed the beginning. So I'm just going to say a couple things real quick here. I have a sale going on until the end of April. If you use the code Eclipse20 while while making a purchase through my website for a natal chart reading. I can do like transits and all that fun stuff. And we can look at the eclipse specifically if you'd like or not, but still use the code eclipse20 for 20% off. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. Okay, so Taurus, for you guys, this is a 12th house transit. So consider for a moment that with the 12th house being the subconscious, the spiritual, the places of isolation and self-undoing, like there's some heavy stuff associated with the 12th house. It can also be like your dreamland and spirituality and that kind of thing. Um and like foreign lands. Like there's a few things associated with each house, but uh those are some of the main themes of the 12th house. Considering some of the heavy themes of this is a fairly nice transit, not gonna lie. So for you, Jupiter rules the 11th and the 8th. So we're talking about your social connections, your rewards from your career, and also like other people's finances and your shared values, your shared finances. Both the 8th and the 11th house have a little bit to do with finances. And then Sun rules 4th. So again, there's a lot of like hidden house stuff going on. And in fact, for all of the earth signs, the fire trines are a little bit more difficult houses to deal with. So anyway, interesting transit. No, we're talking about deep hidden emotions, right? Family, ancestral stuff, family karma. That's very much 12th, 4th house type stuff. And also your own like psychological ish, but also, the things that you deal with um that are from other people, like your spouse's family, your spouse's finances, your business partner's finances. It's, mm, it's a lot of stuff in there that's not very fun to deal with, not gonna lie. But the Jupiter Cazimi can be like a really nice oasis, a momentary reprieve or relief from some of these darker, more difficult to deal with topics. It can also be like suddenly realizing something or having something maybe said to you or gifted to you that uh, literally helps you out. You can receive this in your dreams, especially this 12th house transit for you, Taurus. You can literally receive this in your dreams. You might not even be conscious of this transit. My throat's giving out. I got to finish up. But yeah, you might not even be conscious of this going down, right? It could literally happen in your sleep and you wouldn't know it. But it's like there's this just this gentle relief, right? This gentle reprieve that happens that helps you move through something that has to do with like your family and ancestral karma and maybe some of your own personal traumatic stuff. So all in all, it's actually a fairly helpful transit in dealing with not very nice stuff. And just give me one quick sec here. Word. Okay, we're good. Alrighty. So yeah, like I'm saying, this can turn out or manifest itself in a number of different ways. It could be a dream this week. So definitely Monday night, definitely like if you want to work with this in a conscious way, you could take like some mugwort and some melatonin or something like that to assist with the dream side of things. Um it could be literally someone that is a foreigner, right? 12th house, that's one of the significations of a foreigner. Maybe a foreigner has a message for you. And like if you live anywhere other than Canada, I count. It could be actually, you know what? It could be a message from somebody that's passed on, right? If we're talking about like the spiritual trine houses, the 4th, 8th, 12th, could quite literally be someone that's passed on that um, has like words of encouragement for you that just help you uh, get through a difficult situation. Or it could just be like, really interesting and nice dreams. It doesn't have to be dark stuff, but usually with these houses involved, it is. Okay. There's something there also, Taurus, about like, since we're talking about Aries, there's something about being really courageous in how you face a particular matter. So anyway, 12th house Cazimi, what can Taurus expect this week? Aww, Taurus. That's cute. So there's something to this week where you are exploring the concept of intimacy. What does it mean to be intimate? What does it mean to share your real feelings with somebody? Not your surface level feelings, not lust, or your real feelings. What does that mean to you? Can you do it? Um, you got the King of Cups, the Lovers, and the Ace of Cups. Does it scare you to share with people um, your vulnerable side? How do you actually feel about that? Right? Are you capable of doing that? And keep in mind, like, people connect more with vulnerability than with a false brave face. So oftentimes we need to put on a brave face and like fake it till you make it. That was definitely that can definitely be for a lot of people how this transit plays out is like you got to just fake it till you make it and just do it anyway. But for you guys, for Taurus, because this is playing out in your 12th house, it's like there's an area where you have been like faking it till you make it or putting on a brave front or just like, no, 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 I'm a tough guy. Where it's like the reality, the deeper underlying emotion that you're trying to like not let show is what actually has to come out and show itself. Um, and it's like if you have somebody that you can be emotionally intimate with in order to share that feeling and express that to somebody, do that. Um, and if you don't have somebody else, then do it in a spiritual way, right? It doesn't have to be with any other person outside of yourself, but we are talking about, um, the eighth house or the ruler of your eighth house. So it's like somebody that you're intimate with. Um, But anyway, it doesn't have to express outwardly to another person. It can be outwardly to a higher power, right? 12th house, spirituality. But anyway, there's something that is extremely refreshing and rejuvenating and healing about this transit for you, Taurus, especially if you're able to express some of those deeper emotions and some of those deeper like those deeper needs, right? And allowing other people in and letting them know what those actually are so that they have the opportunity to help you with them. That's the thing. That's the big thing. Um, yeah, I love it, Taurus. I think that's really beautiful. I love that it's ending on the Ace of Cups because it's like no matter what goes down this week, and actually these are really beautiful cards, so I can't see anything particularly negative happening, but no matter what goes down this week, at the end of the week, it's going to be something that helps you either realize how you can fill your own cup or somebody assists you in filling that cup, right? Which is metaphorical, can be talking about um like literally the 12th house, by the way, can be bed pleasures. Okay, I'm gonna just put that out there. Bed pleasures. All right, it's a thing. Uh, so it can literally be in a sexual fashion or in a spiritual fashion or in an artistic fashion. There's something that you do that helps you take care of yourself, but the important first part about that is that you need to be vulnerable and open with them first. Um, so anyway. Ooh, intimate, to be in time with someone. I like that a lot. Ooh, Jenny. Ah, I love Gemini energy. Jenny, you're the best. That's really cool. That's a really cool way to look at that. Keeping time, drumming, moon charting, intimate, to be in time with someone. Ooh, ooh, I like that. That's nice. I like that a lot. Mm. Okay, Aries. Aries, what's up? All right, it's taking a minute there. All right, Aries. So obviously, this transit's happening in your first house. Da na 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 na. So if you're an Aries rising specifically, this Jupiter Sun Cazimi is happening in your first house. This is the house of your physical body, but also the main archetype that you are learning to embody in this lifetime. So for you guys, Jupiter rules your 12th and your ninth houses, and Sun rules your fifth house. So there's a few things going on here. First level of interpretation, I would say that this is Tuesday is like just this really there'll be something really nice that happens. It's like, ah, like something that's kind of like fun shows up for you to do, or like you know, maybe you have an opportunity actually to teach someone or show somebody, or there's like a renewal in your belief structure even. Something happens to you physically Tuesday that assists you uh, in having fun, in learning something new, in teaching yourself something or teaching somebody else something. It is at the same time also tied to your spirituality. So, kind of interesting. The Jupiter Kazemi specifically, because it's a rebirth of the Jupiter energy, it's like these two houses kind of like suddenly they have access to better tools. So it's like your studies get renewed, your spirituality gets renewed. So this for you specifically has a lot to do with your beliefs, definitely. Um, so anyway, that's kind of fun. But I could see this week for most of you just being like, all right, um, what have you been trying to build for yourself over the last year? The last few months, especially as Jupiter, the last couple months rather, as Jupiter has been in Aries. Um, what have you been working on? You know, there might have been some interesting shifts and changes to your path. Um, I was just talking with, I was with family this weekend. It was Easter weekend, blah, blah, blah. And I have a few different family members going through like, life redirecting, or their life is going through a complete like redirection rather. Words are hard. So it's kind of interesting when Jupiter comes through your first house. um different different things about your life expand that you probably like wouldn't expect to. All of a sudden you have either more energy to do things, or like Aries needs more energy, but you have more energy to do things, or more motivation to do them. And Jupiter in Aries specifically is a super confident energy. So I don't know, I love that for you, Aries. And you get to be the star of the show this time around. So what are you showing us? What are you how are you going to model this energy for people? So I'd love to know, what do you got planned this week? You have anything fun going on Tuesday? Hopefully it's something fun. Your fifth lord's in your first house, so it should be something fun. Making that sweet music. Yeah. I mean, I know for you guys specifically, because your chart ruler's been in the fourth house, there's been like an increased focus on home and your deeper desires, your deeper emotions, things that you keep hidden from the public eye. For some of you, this might be making you a little bit more moody, you know, having your chart ruler in Cancer where Mars is in detriment. So, you know, it can be a little bit of a challenging position, a little bit of a challenging transit. So this Jupiter Sun Cazimi is like, just a really nice, refreshing moment. Or like, maybe refreshing is the wrong word. It's more like it reignites something. It helps motivate you in some way. So anyway, what can Aries expect? What can Aries expect? What do we got for you guys? Another freaking 7. So you're coming into this week. You're coming into this week or maybe, oh my gosh, underneath 7 of Pentacles. That card's coming out a lot. Very interesting. They drop at 3:33 p.m. Uh-huh. Okay, so 2 7s again. Double 7 again. All right, so Aries. As you've been coming into this week, there's something that has been energy is 7. Yeah. Word. Yes, it is. Anyway, there's something that has been like confusing or foggy, or, you know, maybe there's a goal that you've had, something that you have had in mind that you really want to do that has been not necessarily like weighing on you. That's not quite the right term or feeling or sensation. It's more just like, well, I mean, especially with Mars and Cancer, it's like there's been multiple ways for you to go, like like a fish swimming in the sea. Which way are you gonna go? You're gonna go this way, you're gonna go this way. And there's so many different options, so many different ways to do things. You've got this responsibility over here and this fun thing over here and this like thing in the real world over here, but also like this like online thing. So it's like, which way do I go? Which path or which task do I choose? Or which cup do I drink from? Right? Which potion, which elixir? So there's so many different options. And coming into this week, it can definitely feel like before this Cazimi hits, you could definitely be feeling maybe a little bit lost. I could see that for sure. Um, especially as it relates to like how you're putting yourself out into the universe. So anyway, that's the 7 of Cups. What the tarot especially is asking you to focus on is immediately after the 7 of Cups, we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is about stabilizing and perfecting things and yeah, basically ensuring stability before continuing the outward expansion. So if you're feeling lost, If you're feeling confused or if things are foggy right now and you're not sure exactly which way to go, take a moment to take stock, take inventory. Literally, maybe for some of you, literally, what are all of the tools that you have? What are all of the skills that you have? What's all of the shit that you've got? Not shit, sorry, that's not a nice word. What's all of the stuff that you've got? Um, how exactly is your income doing? How exactly is this doing, right? Like, literally do a week of or a couple days of just taking inventory, um, before you expand further, because literally right after that, you got the 10 of Pentacles. So it's like, something seems foggy, something seems off. There's 7 in the chat right now. But remember that sevens are always an initiation. It's always a test, a challenge, something that you have to overcome and move through. It's a very magical number. That's why I use the word initiation specifically. Um, and like some of these emotions, some of these things that you're feeling aren't even yours. Some of them don't even belong to you, right? Some of this stuff that you're picking up on is other people's shit. And it like, if you don't have really good, psychic and, like, emotional boundaries, it's so easy to pick up on other people's stuff and think that that's yours. It's not. Often it's not. So, work on that a little bit, and that could be that could be part of what the Knight of Pentacles is wanting you to work on, right? Is connecting with your body, connecting, mind and body especially, um, anchoring down, grounding down. Because immediately after that, with the 10 of Pentacles, it's like it's kinda like you need to stabilize before this big boon comes in. So stabilize, secure your stuff, take inventory, and then when the boon comes in, you'll have a plan and a way to actually use that gift, to actually use that increase, that abundance. So abundance is coming, Aries. Are you ready for it? What are you going to do if you succeed? What are you gonna do if you succeed? That's what the tarot wants you to know, or wants to know. So, or that rather not wants to know, wants you to think about. Have a plan and then go and kill it. Hashtag killing it. Okay, gonna check my email. Nothing in the email. That's cool. All right, my friends. With that, I'm out. Yeah, see you next Monday, noon. And keep in mind again, one last time, if you guys want a right, just do it. Literally, that's this week's hashtag. Just do it. Just do it. Screw the fog. Just do it. If you guys want a natal chart reading or a private tarot reading or anything like that, use the code Eclipse20 until the end of April. You can book with me. I've just opened up a number of like time slots during the week that I can do readings for. So take advantage of my time since I have the time. Let's do it. And love you guys. You're the best. You are the best. Okay, have a lovely week. Enjoy the Cazimi tomorrow. Have fun with it. Peace.